My man to breathe, alright. My man to breathe, alright. Hello, happy weekend. Happy stream. Let's get this going with another open panel. Welcome. Pat, hello. I see you out there in the comments. I don't think there's much going on in the news. So we'll just hang out and do our thing in our little outliers oasis, or what's trying to be an oasis. We'll see if we can keep it that way. And later today, in a few hours, oh, we have a guest. Um, Me and Jeff, the other Jeff, the astrology guy, he's gonna look at Elon Musk's birth chart, so y'all can stick around for that too. Let's check in with this fella, this lad.
Hello. You are exceptionally early today.
I am. I have the weekend off, and I felt like streaming, and I didn't want to wait.
Yeah.
Plus, we have that
Well,
other thing later today, so this gives me more
yeah.
stream time.
That is good for me at least, and I'm very thankful that you actually notified it up front, because then I actually see it. And I just
What
put
you mean
a
notify it up front?
when you have it scheduled, it shows
Oh,
up
instead of
in
just
recommended.
spontaneously going live?
Yes,
Yeah.
because usually what happens is around 10 o'clock, I'll check if you're live, because that's when you're usually live when I can, 10 o'clock my time, obviously, when you're live and I can watch it. But now, I saw it immediately the moment I opened YouTube that you would be streaming very early today. And so a happy surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Well, which is good because I was, it's exam season now, so I'm trying to sleep better.
Oh,
And so even your early sort of streams are basically when I intend to go to sleep.
well, we have been known to put people to sleep, so glad we could be
Yeah.
here for that, including ourselves at times.
Oh,
It looks sunny. I've never seen your place so bright.
oh yeah. Well, you got to get used to that in the summer, but yeah, it's way
That's cool.
brighter now.
I love that light.
I don't know if you can see outside much.
It's just a big. It's like a
Yeah,
big spotlight.
I personally prefer it more in the dark. Uh, Not because of my viewing experience, but because of your viewing experience. Because I look better in the dark,
No, you look good
whilst the
now.
room.
Look,
No,
even Internet God, who never has anything nice to say about anybody,
a
says that
fine
you're
young
a
man.
fine
Well,
young man.
maybe I am. Maybe I am. I did feel exceptionally productive today. So some context. I don't know. I couldn't sleep like a day ago or something, so I just decided after laying in bed for 4 hours, I'm just gonna wake up instead. I'm just gonna go about my day, and so I just went the day without sleep, and I slept like a baby after that. And I woke up, and the first thing I did, I just cleaned the entire house. Just felt like it. So I feel really
That was
productive today.
today. That was your waking up
Yes,
from the sleep.
yes. I
Oh,
woke up. I ate breakfast. I waited a bit because my roommate was still sleeping, so I didn't want to wake him up. But then I waited and I cleaned the house and everything. He didn't know this though, which I don't know how. Like he didn't wake up from a vacuum right outside his door. That is in, insane strength I do not have. But uh,
oh.
but,
Maybe he
but yeah.
grew up with vacuums and he's just accustomed to it.
Maybe, maybe. I mean, we all grew
Is
up
it a
with
loud
vacuums.
vacuum?
Yes, it's very
Oh,
loud. Like it's not just that. Like I did the dishes. I had played music because in
ooh,
my
that
family
is.
it's tradition to play ABBA whilst you clean. That's sort of my mom's tradition. Every time she cleans, she plays ABBA, and so now my mind is instantly in the cleaning mode, which is very good conditioning, I'll be honest, because now anytime I hear ABBA I just get a bit more sensitive to dirt and muck, and I just feel the
Oh
urge to
Lord.
just clean it up. So
My
it's
house would
very
be
effective.
spotless.
Yeah, but because of that, I don't listen to ABBA much because I don't want to ruin the conditioning, and also now my mind can't think of anything else, and so that doesn't really, you know, work together.
That could work in
Mm.
your favor.
Yes, it is working in my favor, and also I got completely screwed today because after I've cleaned up and whatever, it. Oh, actually, you need to know something else. So the reason I was supposed to go to the store right after I cleaned to buy the dinner or whatever, but it was raining. But that's not it. Like the weather today has been insane. When I woke up, it was sunny, no clouds, super sunny. Then it becomes super cloudy, no sun at
Oh,
all. Then it rains like drizzle. Then like
wow.
really heavy rains. Then it hails, and now it was snowing 15 minutes ago.
What?
And so today
It
has been
looks like
like,
summer outside.
yeah, it has been everything today.
Oh my
Although,
God.
yeah, now it's blue. Now it's blue and cloudy again. So it's been every type of weather. And so when I was supposed to go out to the store, it was raining really heavy. And then, so I waited and I waited, and then I went to the store. And I went to one store specifically because it has the sale on candy that I want. You can buy candy loose, just pick whatever you want in a bag. Loose candy, which
Oh
is
yeah.
always best. And it had a good sale on it. And so I get there, the automatic door isn't working. And so I approach it a bit. There's a kid coming, on the bike. He's looking at me strangely, like, why is the door not working? And so I back up a bit. On the sign, this store is closed 15 minutes ago. And it's going to be closed for 10 days because they're doing some renovation. And just the light in that kid's eyes. I'm sure he just, cycled to the store with some money in his pocket to buy some candy for Saturday. And like in the moment I say, oh, it's closed. He's just,
Oh no.
oh,
Was there
oh.
anywhere else to get the candy?
Not for him, no. But he had a
Oh.
bike, so I suppose he got it. But no, so I had to turn around, walk back, because that wasn't the closest store, but it was the best store that I wanted. And so I ended up buying chocolate instead.
Oh
Because,
my God, that's giant chocolates.
yes, this is normal size.
Hang on.
This is the
Let me feature it. That's normal. Smash Midlar is what's it called? Midlar?
Nidar, that's the company.
Needlar.
Smash is really good. Smørbukk, also really good. Uh, but this is normal size, just
It's
not supposed to
chocolate
be at all.
bar, like just little
Yeah,
chocolate squares.
yeah, straight up chocolate bar, and it's really good. But it's typically expensive, and like this is my way of viewing inflation. Because when before COVID, one of these bars cost, I think, 30 crowns. So I'm just gonna do a 1 to 10 conversion for dollar. So it cost $3, and on sale it was $2.4. Now these cost $7.
What?
And on sale, it's, yeah. Like luckily on sale, it was good. Like I got these two for $7, so two for
So
one.
like to
So two.
for both of them,
Yeah,
350
yeah. I
each.
had to get both.
That
Not so
still
I
seems
complained.
high. That's like movie prices.
Yes, yes. Inflation has eaten up all the, like
Oh
it
my
used like
God.
I know when I sort of categorize inflation into these cycles because there is a cycle where the new price or the new sale price is the old actual price, and
Mm-hmm.
that happened a few times. I think it's like happened 3 times now that the sale price is the old price. So I just, you know, viewing my chocolate. This I could have gotten 4 of these before, but now it's only 2,
No,
and
you're
that
only.
is like on sale. This is two for 70, so 3.5 each.
Wow.
It's it's not good at all. But the loose candy is even worse. Like that is, I think it's 1.8 per hectogram. So 18 per kilogram is because you buy in weight.
Yeah.
18 per kilogram. Uh,
I
Actually,
used to have that
since
at the
we're talking
mall.
weight, I'm gonna kilogram to pounds,
The
so
nut
you can actually
house.
get. Uh, yeah. So about $118 for 2 pounds, 2.2 pounds is the price for loose candy, which is horrendous. Now on sale, it's about uh, $10 for 2 pounds, which is still horrible.
That's
Like,
not too terrible though, even compared to when I was growing up. It's not that much higher.
no, but do you
Because
know what you can get?
that was the pricey candy even when I was growing up, but everybody bought it anyway.
No, it has been better. Like the best ever used to always be on the Swedish border, because Sweden has lower wages, so lower prices, and they have, for some reason, they just had the best candy stores. So there's like a store the size of a warehouse where you'll just walk around with rows upon rows of
Wait,
candy.
just candy? Like the
Yes,
Wonka
and there's
factory?
multiple of them. At like one border crossing, there's
Hey,
probably like
Moose.
5 supermalls. Not five.
Hang on, pause. What do you mean subscribers only? Did I accidentally make it subscribers only? Um, because if so, I didn't mean to, but I'm still open to continuing and seeing what happens and trying. Oh, members only. Yeah, they've been subscribers only for a while. Someone recommended that, and it's helping with the numbers. Right. I've been doing that for a few weeks now, and it's really helped because even if they come here to troll now, I at least get something out of it.
That is a good one.
All right,
Mm,
sorry about that.
yeah. Okay. Because they're on the borders. They have like on one border crossing, the one I usually uh, go to when we go to Sweden. It's the Charlottenberg border crossing. It has like there's 3 supermall complexes there, and there's hundreds of thousands of Norwegians
Oh God, they sound
now
like
every week.
Americans.
Yeah, like but that is there's literally like a cultural stereotype of like the working class Norwegian going on a pilgrimage to the border crossing to buy cheap groceries because it's so much cheaper, and the candy. Every one of those supermalls has at least one candy megastore. It usually has two.
What's it? I want to see a picture of it. What's it called?
Hmm.
Candy
I can
Warehouse?
no, you can um search up this. That's the
See.
name of one of them.
All right.
And you want to get a
Got
full
bitten.
view.
Okay, let's see.
Gottebiten. Beat is bite. Got is good. The good bite.
And that's Sweden?
Yes. Although you can pay in Norwegian krones on the border crossing, because I believe like 60% of the profits for those are from
Oh
Norwegians.
my God. It looks like a game show set. It doesn't even look like a store. See if I got the right place. Yo, this is off the chain. Look at this.
And that there's more, Jeff. There's more, Jeff. It's just there's multiple of them. Like that's just one. Like I
Wait,
think
where's the
there's
picture?
oh, what did you do?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
Go
now
back
you're
to this one.
in on the store page,
Look
huh?
at this.
Oh, that's the name for that image. Scroll up. Scroll up. That link, the name link, that says the world's biggest candy shops. So I assume that they literally are among the world's
That's
biggest.
well, how do I see pictures? Which one says pictures? Snacks? Drick.
What are you
Chocolate.
trying? What are you trying to
I'm
click on?
trying to navigate. None of it's in English.
Where are you?
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
don't
On
show it.
this one. See, they have chocolate. God
Wait,
is
Uddevalla, is that an other
snacks.
crossing? Wait, sorry, I'm multitasking now.
I'm just
Lös.
trying to see
No,
pictures.
none of those tabs up. That's just to find the various types of candy. You're looking at their.
Hit a
You can
Buttiker.
click that. Hitta butiker. Now you can find where the stores are. But
No,
oh, they have
I want to
many.
see stuff
I
like
can't help
this,
you,
just
man.
pictures. They have a YouTube video. But look at this, y'all.
It's
He's not
immense.
kidding. All right, here, look at this. This is like he's not kidding when he says a warehouse of candy. Is this mirrored? Are these mirrors? Is it
No,
like
no, no, no.
that's the actual size?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's actually larger because this is only showing the loose candy section. They also have a section for sodas and chips and a lot of other,
Oh
like,
my God.
it's humongous. And
I want to puke so bad.
it was always a competition between me and my siblings whenever we went to the cabin, to we had to have as much candy as possible, but have the least amount compared to your siblings. So, uh, my sister always lost because she was always too greedy. She is too greedy. She just picked too much, and so it's like we buy half a kilo of candy there. So like a whole pound, a pound of candy. But of course, not just for one weekend, but for an entire vacation. A bag bought there usually lasts maybe 2 weeks of daily consumption, daily light consumption, mind you. Uh, but like, yeah, I went very off topic, and I want to go back to the original train of thought because I had a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
things
if you
I
remember.
wanted to talk about today that are interesting. Um, where was I?
I don't know.
I
I was
know.
gonna
Okay, I
ask you
went
what your
on
favorite
this
candy was.
divergence. My favorite candy is chocolate, but also of the non-chocolate candies. It's a sort of licorice raspberry skull, like, just a normal uh, chewy candy that's half
Like a
licorice,
like
half
a
raspberry.
toffee or a nugget?
No, no, not a toffee. Like, what do you call that type of? Not wine gummy, like not gummy candy, but it's
Yeah.
similar to gummy. Gummy has something special in it, but like similar to that, like Hasbro um, candy or Marlboro candy.
I thought they made cigarettes.
I know, but there's a Swedish company that's similar.
Really? They
Okay,
make candy? Oh.
Marlboro. So with an L.
Marlboro. Marlboro.
How do you How do I wanna bilar? I know they create that. That is. Anyways, doesn't matter to find
I
this.
don't remember the original topic, to be honest. So if you do, we can
No,
get back there.
okay. So I went on this tangent because of inflation. To
Right, yes.
compare the bet like the absolute insanity of Swedish border crossings, and so when we were so I had to go to this other store. I bought chocolate instead. Um, I went back home, made dinner, whatever. But uh, there's more things that happened. Okay, I'll remember it. So there's another thing I wanted to talk about, which is Germany. You said there wasn't any news today. Uh,
Oh,
haven't you gotten the news about what happened in Germany? The
mm,
German equivalent to the FBI has now categorized the AfD as an extremist party, which gives them rights to spy on it and collect data and such, and also gives justification to potentially ban it. And the AfD is currently the biggest party in Germany.
none of that showing up in my headlines at all. That's why I
What?
didn't know.
Marco Rubio literally commented on it on Twitter, and the German government
Probably it
responded
just
to
didn't
him.
make it into my feed. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying. It didn't hit
yeah,
as top news.
but
I'm seeing it now, but I have to scroll down
yeah,
about half a page on the. It's under the
it's
U.S. section for some reason. I guess
pretty
because of
insane.
Rubio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it's pretty big when he says that this is, kind of tyrannical, and when one government calls another government a bit tyrannical, that usually gets a lot of press, which is a bit annoying because I think the more important part is what they actually did. And the thing is, I am not okay. I am critical of the decision. I think it's a dumb decision. Uh,
To
and
classify it
if
as extremist.
Yes, I think that's okay. I can get if they want some way to spy on it because there are legitimate
I
concerns
just
about their
assumed they're
connection to
doing all
Russia.
that anyway. Like,
Sure,
Like
but
it's this is
probably
just
not.
theater.
Like, Jeff, you have to remember who the Germans are. The Germans are like hyper autistic. Once they've adopted an ideology, they take it to the extreme. Like they make the government, like whatever government system they have, they take it to the extreme. Like right now, the rules are everything, and their nation is set up against right wing extremism. Like that is literally the function of the German government is.
Oh,
To govern, that's secondary. The primary is to prevent the Nazis from rising again, because they didn't really, uh, you know what I mean. But the thing I'm most sort of I find most interesting is that the tweet of Mark Rubio that they responded to, um, in it, they said that this is a democracy. That they cited that this is a democracy as to why they should be allowed to spy on and classify a democratically supported party as extremists, which sort of reminds me and makes me always think that people use democracy differently. Do they use it in the most minimalist sense, that the government is of the people, by the people, or whatever? Or do they mean in sort of, the modern democracies, democratic values, or whatever, and the separation of powers? Because I think that, frankly, the separation of powers is undemocratic. I support it, but it's undemocratic. That's just a compromise on democracy that we accept because we value other things a bit more. We think that it's important, but uh, sorry, I had to laugh at the comment, by comment. But that is so true. That is so true. It's insane, that any Scandinavian will appear smug because that's just we are. We are literally
so that was racist.
it's just the truth. But like outside of the
Oh,
Balkans, Norwegians are ranked as the most chauvinistic people in Europe. You know,
Germanistic.
chauvinistic.
Shamanistic.
So we are, we do toot our own horn quite a lot. Uh, so no, the yeah, I think it's weird, but also kind of fun that they cite democracy as the reason for doing a frankly undemocratic ruling. And I wish they would just be honest that we value things a bit more. We value the prevention of Nazism over democracy. Because I think that this is something that, don't say socialist dream. Norway is not socialist, it's corporatist. It's not capitalist, it's not
So
socialist,
you
it's
don't even
corporatist.
know. You don't even know.
No, well, okay. The thing they point to, uh, it can be said to be somewhat socialist, but that can also be said as nationalist. Like the first welfare state was implemented by Bismarck, the conservative, out of nationalistic ideals. So you can have a welfare state without socialism. It's just that you usually either have
You
to
just
have socialism or
you still need
nationalism.
black people to do it. You have to at least have black people.
I don't think you do, but
Oh, okay.
maybe the Sami can be the blacks of the north. Though I don't think they'll accept the label, though.
There's always someone always is in any social grouping. Somebody
Yeah,
always is in that
yeah.
category, however you want to
I don't know
define
who
it.
would. Well, for us, obviously the blacks are the immigrants, but pre-modern immigrant wave in Norway, it's not the Sami because they're not like the Native
They're
Americans
native,
either.
right? Indigenous.
Well, we arrived before them to this peninsula,
Oh,
so like they are
so they're
classified as
technically the
native.
invaders,
No,
interlopers.
but they are not more indigenous than us. Like it's only if you go by the dictionary definition of native, no, of indigenous, and the definition most people use when using indigenous, then all white people are indigenous to their various European nations. However, the UN and such, they use indigenous a bit differently because it has to be a minority that faces challenges from the majority in addition to
Oh, I
being
wasn't aware of that.
all. Yeah,
That's
so
not the
it's
definition I grew up with.
exactly. Most people, when they talk about the word indigenous, they mean, the people who were first, or
Yeah,
at least have a really long claim to the land.
yeah.
And most people, if you ask them, are Europeans indigenous to Europe? They'll say yes. And if you ask them, are Americans indigenous to America? No.
Well,
Which
I don't think that you'll hear Trump or any of his team using indigenous in that way.
no, they probably won't. This is more a what the left has done and such. I wouldn't even say left. I just think it's and yeah. For some reason, that's a definition quite a lot of people use, and that's mostly because they sort of made the definition in America and then exported it to the rest of the world without adapting it. Like that definition of minority group were here first and oppressed by the majority only works for Oceania and Americas, nowhere else. It doesn't work in the old world,
Hmm.
but it's used in the old world, you know, which is a bit.
It seems like the smart people would figure this out.
Well, maybe the smart people have intentions other than just the truth. I can certainly see why you would want a unique classification for the old for the old no old grievances, whatever, the old like minorities that have been here a long time and that have been historically oppressed, like that. There isn't any category for that, or well, there
Does there
is.
need to be?
Well, the UN does a lot of politics based on it, so they need to
Oh.
have that category. But they've been they have like now you can use native, I suppose, that Europeans are native to Europe. Well, of course, you can also use indigenous because that's what the dictionary says. It's just that if you're going to use it in a UN, uh, you know, in a UN context, you gotta is some nuance, but that's off completely divergent again. But I suppose it's an interesting discussion nonetheless. And so, who are the black people in the pre-immigrant Norwegian society? So, as I said, it's not the Sami. They occupy sort of the same place as the natives. They
Were
were
there any?
the black people.
Yeah, whatever we're talking about, whatever.
Well, okay, we have the Roma or the Gypsies.
We're up in
Uh,
Norway.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They went all around Europe,
Is that where they
sleeping in
originated?
communities.
Or that was one of the places they wandered through?
Yeah, no, they originated in northern Indians or something, and throughout the
Oh,
Middle
okay.
Ages moved across Norway in
And this
roving
was
bands.
before your people got there or the Sami? They were up there?
No, 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 no. The
Oh.
Gypsies have been there like since the Middle Ages,
Oh,
not
okay.
before.
Okay.
Since the Middle Ages. Now I know Gypsies ain't black. We're talking about
S-
who occupies the
Some of
space
them
of
could
the
be.
black.
You could have black gypsies.
Uh,
Like they'd be
I
interracial, but you could have, I mean, it's not impossible that there's
okay,
do I
yeah,
don't
but like,
it,
uh, what we're doing, Gordon, is we're trying to find out: is there any people in pre-immigrant Norway that occupies the same position as
well,
blacks?
I'm trying to figure out what people were even up there at all, like who the candidates were.
Who
So
are the
let me look
candidates?
up
Okay, so we have
Wikipedia.
the ethnic Norwegians. We have the Germans in Bergen and the Hansa cities, so coastal merchants. We have the Jews. We have the Gypsies, and we have the Sami. Uh, I don't think you have more than that. So you have five contenders. It's definitely not the ethnic Norwegians. It's not the coastal German traders either.
There
They
was a
merged.
hunting fishing population on the west coast that got displaced by the new settlers who were Indo-European farmers who grew grain and
What are you
kept
talking about?
livestock.
The Gypsies?
No, just people in I looked up Norway, Scandinavian prehistory.
Well, there are a lot of issues with Scandinavian prehistory because the historical methods and ideas used in Scandinavia are based on German, French, and British science, where it's the farming communities that always dominate over the hunter-gatherers. But that isn't exactly what happened in Scandinavia, and so they have
Well, that's what
interpreted
they're saying
evidence.
happened.
Yeah, but they've interpreted evidence quite wrongly, and a lot
Well,
of
it's
recent.
Wikipedia. You need to go fix it. Tell them they're
Yeah, well,
wrong.
yeah, this is still a disputed topic, but like
Oh,
like a lot of big publishings and papers are coming out now that are trying to reanalyze the prehistory of Scandinavia because more and more evidence points
were
that
there
those
hunter
Germanic.
gatherers and they just didn't get displaced, or what's the
Uh,
difference?
yes, because Scandinavia was first populated by hunter gatherers, but not really hunter gatherers, more like hunter gatherer fisherers
Yeah,
that
they were
lived in the.
coastal.
Yes, and then the Neolithic farmers from the Middle East settled in the interior, and they stayed like two peoples in Scandinavia for a long time, trade with the interior, whatever. And I won't go over the history because it's not, we don't have that much knowledge about it. That's still disputed. So anything I say here might be wrong in a
But they're
decade.
pretty sure about the hunter fishers and the farmers.
Yes, and we know that when the Indo-Europeans arrived, they did not wholesale conquer society. They ethnically replaced the inland people, but not the coastal people, and that there continued to be two peoples in Scandinavia for 1,000 more years. And then over the span of 1,000 years, the cultures remained separated, but the genetics merged. So in the span of 1,000 years, you still have two primary cultures, but you have one genetic group. Uh, but it's the in the Europeans, they dominated in the interiors. And
So
what
y'all
happened?
started out as different cultures, but y'all became genetically the same people?
Yes, and then the cultural merging uh, happens a bit later, and it's quite interesting. So what you have during the Bronze Age, you have the Amber Road. Do you know what that is?
The who?
The Amber Road
Uh,
was a trade route during the Bronze Age that transported luxury items such as amber from the Baltic Sea down to Mycenaean Greece. And the main merchantmen of that trade route were Greeks, obviously, and those coastal peoples of Scandinavia. And so
oh.
exceptional wealth came to those coastal people, the descendants of the hunter-gatherers, and they grew really wealthy and powerful. This we know that they copied like Mycenaean architecture as well as they could. They copied Mycenaean architecture, art, fashion, government system,
The
swords. Like
coastal
that's
people did?
Yes, that's the only place in Europe outside of Mycenaean Greece where we're seeing Mycenaean fashion and tools because the trade connection was so strong. Like this road was one of the main sort of economic drivers of Mycenaean Greece. They used the wealth from that luxury trade to do whatever they else. They didn't make tin, that was or bronze, that was Cyprus. They didn't have the vast agriculture of Egypt, but they had this amber trade. But what happens is that around the 2000s, sort of, that whatever, I don't know exactly the time frame, but when the Celts emerged in Central Europe, they cut this trade, which sort of, that puts a Malthusian pressure on the coast people of Scandinavia, and they conquer out into the inland, becoming the elites of the inland peoples. And now you sort of have merged the
The ones
society.
that got replaced by the Europeans? They conquered
Yes,
those people?
yes. And so now the societies merge. There's still a distinction, but now the societies mostly merge because the coastal people conquer the interior.
And then they
And
all married together, and there was enough
yes,
generations to become one people.
yes. Although you
So the
still have.
differences are still there. They're just kind of overshadowed by all the mixing since then.
Yes, this appears to have been especially the case in Sweden and Norway, not Sweden, in Denmark and Norway, where we don't see any signs of separate two peoples into the Viking Age, or first the Vendel period, but then the Viking Age. However, in Sweden, it appears to be that there was still a distinct separation because the Swedish creation myth was the unification of three crowns. It's the crown of the Svear, the Swedes in the coastal areas of Uppsala, where we know the coastal people lived, and then with the kingdom of the Western Goths and the Eastern Goths. And yes, that's where the Ostrogoths and the Westrogoths come from. They migrated out of those areas for centuries, went down Europe, and then invaded Rome. So, like, the Goth does come from that, yes. And so the unification
Is
and
that where
those
the
Gothic people,
Mall come from?
that I don't know. But
Oh.
those Gothic peoples is those inland people, and it's that unification in Sweden was much later than in Norway and Denmark. And the Vikings that we know of, like the sort of Viking archetype, that seems to be more a product of the coastal period, of the coastal peoples. So like, which is interesting. So that the reason this is so interesting is because it sort of reshapes the image of the Viking. The image of the Viking has always been, the farmer who in the summers go out to raid. Whilst now it appears more likely that the fisher and merchantman
I associate him with
raids as
sea
well.
people, like on ships,
Yes, yes, that's because that's all the new research points
not
to.
farmer
But
Vikings.
the old mythos based on European historiography is that it's farming people who in campaigning season go out and do really cool stuff. You know that you farm and then it's time for war. You go out, you come back, you
Oh
harvest
no,
your
I never
grain.
knew they were farmers. I thought they
Yeah,
were always that way.
no, that's still the mythos in Norway, and I think that's
Oh,
also modified by the medieval age, which was
very
a farming age,
superhero.
because you have to think of the sort of power structure. I know that sounds woke, but like the way you control society when your wealth comes from raiding is you don't need much land. Your wealth comes from these small elite individuals on the coast, the small elite communities. And so there's a lot of competition. It's very difficult to centralize and hold a whole kingdom. Uh, and then once you've unified it all, you need some way to hold it together. And that doesn't really happen. That isn't really easy to happen when there are all these competing coastal cities. But with Christianity, you can sort of begin to tax and make the interior your powerhouse. It's farming that king now. The whole feudal system makes permanence and land king instead of trade and the ocean, which allows the kings to make their primary hubs of power be the interior peoples, which to be fair are the same people now, but like the interior peoples to dominate the coastal areas. And so, uh, they're the sort of old Viking system is crushed and destroyed. But however, the kings still all reign from the areas of the coastal Vikings because they are the ones who had the most power to conquer and unify the country. It's just that they had to abandon their old systems to keep it. But that the capital of Norway is Oslo, a hub of merchantmen and Vikings, of Copenhagen, merchantmen, Vikings, Uppsala, Stockholm, merchantmen, Vikings. Uh, and it's actually funny because this sort of continues this battle between settled peoples and or interior peoples and coastal peoples, because after Scandinavia unifies, the old economic system that the Vikings set up, that was continued by the Hanseatic League, North German city states that continued this trade. And there was a continuous battle between the Copenhagen king, so the Danish king that ruled the Kalmar Union, and the Hanseatic League that ended in, whatever it ended in. The city states didn't come out of it. But for a long time, there was this internal competition, that even inside Scandinavia, cities like Bergen was a Hansa city. Oslo was not. Trondheim was a Hansa city. Uh, Hamar was not. And so you had this constant battle between the king and the merchantman. Um, and what happened after the Hanseatic League was destroyed is that the Dutch and the English took over that system. And that's basically, now it's just a modern global economic system. But there was this constant battle between coastal and inland people throughout all of Scandinavian history. That, to be fair, to this day is still a thing to a decent extent, but just that the coastal has been replaced with urban. But all the top urban centers in Scandinavia are all coastal. We have Oslo, coastal, Bergen, coastal, Trondheim, coastal. All the big cities of Norway, also coastal. Sweden, the big cities, Malmö, coastal, Stockholm, coastal, Göteborg, coastal. So that's the biggest city there.
You have a lot of
Denmark,
coast.
Copenhagen, coastal. Like all the power like the urban rural split in Norway is just a continuation of this 10,000-year-old split between coastal people and inland people. And the urban people are also the more international ones. They are the ones who are connected to the global network of ideologies and belief and whatever, whilst the inland people are not. That isn't to say they are conservative. They are not at all, but they're very unlikely to be woke because that's too new of an ideology. They're
Yeah.
often socialists, or because that's sort of that's an old traditional party that dominates and whatever. But they're rarely the Green Party. That isn't really voted on. Like the Green Party basically only has voters in Oslo and nowhere else. But that is enough to get them
I
at
don't
least
think
one or
it's
two
that
seats.
different here, or it
No,
wasn't in my generation. It
yeah,
was the big cities that had all the new newfangled activist groups and causes and this and that, and
yes.
the rural people wouldn't have any idea what that was.
There's just something about the cosmopole that creates this looseness in belief that allows for radical experimentation.
Yeah, I
You
guess
need.
that's it. Let's hope that's all wokeness was. Thank
Well,
God
I
the
mean,
experiment failed. They almost blew up the lab.
it. If we, I mean, politics are Darwinian in the sense that only the best politics survive, or not the best, only those politics that give sufficient life to the nations that adopt them survive. If your ideology makes,
Ooh,
oh
Lord.
shit, I need to charge my computer. I can
Uh,
multitask though. Wait, no, I cannot. Wait, no, I have a genius. No, I cannot.
his room looks cool with the lion on top of it.
Where is my charger? I was dumb. It was literally just behind the screen. I didn't see it.
Oh,
I didn't need to do this at all.
we were watching a real live Norwegian crisis.
Oh, crisis would be. Yeah, yeah. Let's just call it crisis, because
World
that is
Naked
more fun.
Gardening Day. It's still too cold up here,
Excuse me. It was literally snowing an hour ago.
right?
So
Well, do you think what are we going through any major transition now? You talked about like from the coastal to the feudalism, and we all know feudalism gave way to capitalism. Is there some new form of social or economic organization that is on the horizon that things are shifting to?
um, I mean, I think that the internet will certainly rapidly change things. I I'm very afraid, but I think that it's not an unlikely possibility that a lot of countries might go back to direct democracy, because there's multiple parties and a lot of people I know who sort of are in favor of direct democracy, even developing apps. Like one of the new minor parties developed an app which they intend to use that you can just vote on resolutions like that easy. And I think that we are. I hope that doesn't happen because I know my Athenian history, but but I think that is one potential path that at least the people in the West are going down. Uh, no, we're not in feudalism. You do not know. Feudalism is a very specific economic and political and cultural and
We're still in
ideology.
slavery too. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, sure, 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 sure. But this is something I dislike. Just call it the new dystopian thing. Don't use an old name which it doesn't fit. Like
They do that with
feudalism.
Nazi and fascism and
I know.
racism and too, like all the
I
words.
know. Like feudalism has a very specific meaning. Like, are you a serf? Does serfdom exist? Are you forcibly tied to the land or tied to a job? You are not allowed to switch jobs. You can change jobs. You might go bankrupt or go into poverty, but you can change jobs. You can live whatever you want. It might not be good, but you can do so. But serfdom, you're not a serf. There's nothing chaining you to the land that you can't change. Sure, it will be bad to change it, and but that doesn't make it feudal. That just means that it's a crappy economy. Like if you have the choice of where to live, what to work, how much to work, even if that means starvation, if you have that choice, you know, it's not feudalism. Feudalism is very like you don't
But
bow
feudalism
to
is
your
more than
politician.
just permission, because there's
Yes,
lots of situations where you have to ask permission that I would not say
yeah.
is feudalism.
I do like the term neo-feudalism though, because I think just it it's not really it's a kink. uh sure.
We
Imagine
don't kink shame here
uh,
unless it's just really fucked up. I can't control reactions.
Jeff, do you
Oh
want
my
to sign a
god,
con?
hang on. A, Doc is here. Welcome, Doc. But B, this is a milestone. Doc, I feel bad. I don't want you to do anything that you feel bad about or that goes against your conscience. So don't feel like you have to. Like, it's fine if you don't. Having said that, he didn't. He has very strong religious beliefs, and he did not want to sub to my channel because of the satanic themes, and
Hmm.
he just did it anyway. So I guess my Satanism is working. I tempted another follower.
Maybe you shouldn't say that, Jeff.
No, just
Maybe
kidding.
you lose them.
Doc, thank you and good to see you. Was that the topic we were talking about, or was there or was that another tangent on a larger topic that I forgot about?
Technically, it was a tangent. However, I have still not remembered where I wanted to go with the original
Because it
topic.
was before bringing up the original inhabitants of Norway, but it was some topic,
We talked about indigenous, the UN definition of the word.
yeah,
Um,
and how it like migrates to other countries and they start using it.
I talked about how I talked about how Germans are so ideological. No, wage slavery. No, you can stop working. You'll starve, but you can stop working under slavery and serfdom. You cannot. That there's a difference. You are allowed to make a choice and take the consequences. In slavery or serfdom, you are not allowed to take the choice and get the consequences. Like,
I think it's the similarities that interest them
yeah,
more than the
I mean
differences, and they
it's a
exaggerate them to so that they start looking like the same thing.
it's a useful name
It's a
though, because it
rhetorical
is kind of
device.
true that you are, the wages aren't exactly the best right now. Uh,
Mine are okay.
yeah, they are okay. They aren't the best, and I mean,
Washington State has a very high minimum wage, and they keep raising it.
yeah.
So they're
Uh,
doing a lot to make the minimum wage more equitable.
is comrade the comrade guy still in chat?
Comrade, yo, hello, comrade, my comrade,
Because
Kroftvik.
this is a good discussion when you mention minimum wage. That's a good
You can
I
come
can
up
then
if you want, comrade.
I can explain sort of what Scandinavia is with their corporatism as opposed to socialism. So socialism, that is, the state saying, okay, this is the minimum wage. Like Norway doesn't have a minimum wage at all. We good. Uh, Norway doesn't have a minimum wage at all. There exists no state legislated minimum wage. Technically, you can take whatever pay you want. However, we have okay, corporatism is technically not the right word. It's more like neo-corporatism because corporatism is a subset of feudalism. Uh, corporatism is just organizing the economy as a whole body. So the various parts of society they work together, not just based on their own strength, but as equals of a whole organism. So the guilds, the smiths, the merchants, the king, the nobles, the the farmers, they would all discuss together and work together to figure out what they want. They'd petition the king, and the king would view the various social classes together. Whilst in in modern Scandinavia, that has adapted, where it's not just the smiths and the king. It's the main forces of the economy. It's labor, and capital and land. So the state stands for the land. It organizes a yearly meetup where the main trade union of labor, which almost all trade unions are organized under. So if you are working at a grocery store, you can organize into a grocery store trade union, which is organized into a wider salesperson trade union, which is organized under the national trade union, like the big one. And this is a whole steps, like all these guilds, basically a modern hierarchical guild system. And the same goes for capital, like owners and business owners, entrepreneurs, they also can organize into a guild for capital. And what happens is that once a year, the leader of the capital union and the leader of the labor union sit down and just discuss all the wages of society, how to balance it. What should we raise? Should we raise wages here? Then labor says, oh yeah, our workers want that. And the capital says we can't handle that. And then they find a middle ground. And so, for example, if teachers don't get the salary raise they want, then pilots can strike. So now you can be very strategic about how you pressure the system, whilst also capital actually has a say. They can say that, if you do this, there's no jobs. We cannot hire you on these principles. And so they constantly have to discuss and find a solution. And this has given what is in effect a minimum wage, even though there isn't a minimum wage. And so people have a high minimum wage, even though it isn't state organized, and so it's just a different way of giving these wages, which I think is healthier and more competitive and actually adapted to the economy. Now, that isn't to say that there aren't problems. The big problem is that what usually happens is that high paying wages are pulled down and the low paying wages are pushed up. So an engineer in Norway earns like a third of what an engineer in America does. But most people usually think it's okay because society at large is really good. And so it's completely fine for an engineer to be paid, only 100,000 instead of 300,000 because society is so good and they accept that, okay, in their payment, what they get is that other countrymen who have a worse paying job can have it really good. Yeah. Yes. So to comment on the questions, the unionized rate, it depends on the workplace. It's very dynamic. But for example, when I worked in at the grocery store, they just had the wage be the standardized wage, the standardized wage for that sector, that the unionized wage, which was 176 krones. But that won't be as high as it should be. Yes, that's $17 an hour. But because of the low conversion rate, like right now, the Norwegian currency is doing horrible. Like it usually is much higher, like in pure purchasing power. But yeah, it's about $17 right now. That's probably the lowest wage you can find. And then, so wage bargaining is centralized in a sense that individual unions aren't always bargaining. They are, giving their voice to a higher group that then bargains collectively for all of labor. It's like almost all trade unions organized together. It's not just all the pilot unions. It's like literally the entire workforce of Norway sits down with the entire capital of Norway, mediated by the state, which stands for the land in a sense, or democracy or whatever. And so it's if you want a good way to equalize wages, I think this is much preferable to pure socialism and just enforce wage ceiling, because there's no mechanism that makes it so that the ceiling is actually realistic. So, and there's also no mechanism to update it. Like in Norway, every single year, uh, the the unions will sit down, and maybe you'll get an increase, maybe you won't, but that at least the changes will be coherent with what's actually going on in the economy. If the sector can't handle the increase, then they won't have it. If they can handle it, then it will be argued towards, and they prioritize national stability uh, over individual gains. Like that's sort of the whole motto, is that we don't care for each individual union, we care for the wider society. Like this is an equalization process for all of society, and not just a way for individual unions to get the higher wages. Like this is a part of the Scandinavian project. So like the Scandinavian system, as people refer to that, like Bernie Sanders, Scandinavian system, that's more than just one thing. It's not just a welfare state, it's also corporatism in the private
Ooh,
sector.
hang on,
So
I
like
spilled.
you have most people only look at the public sector side of the Scandinavian system, but you also got to remember how the private sector is organized, which is corporatism. Like, in my humble opinion, very humble, if you wanted to decide the best country to live in, you should probably just make 2013 Norway, because that's before we got inefficient due to the oil money and before we fucked up. But all the systems were still functioning. It's like 2013 Norway, probably the best place to have ever lived, uh, if that could have lasted, but it won't. So, to some questions or some comments, are the unions in Norway as corrupt? Depends what you mean by corrupt. I wouldn't say they're corrupt, but there is a big flaws, specifically with LO, the labor trade union, because it is based officially a part of Norway's Labour Party, whilst the Union of Capital is not a part of any party. But the Labour Party, like the labor organization, historically was an outgrowth of the Labour Party. Kind of similar to Nazism, where you had a state mandated trade union, which was an extension of the main party, just that Norway isn't a uniparty. There's not a one party state. But that's off topic. The issue is that this has persisted despite modern politics. Like currently, when polling members of LO, of the trade union, 80% vote differently from the Labour Party, and still the union gives economic support to the Labour Party, despite 80% of its members and the contributors being against it. So it's sort of very. It's not. I don't think that's good, honestly. I think it should be a bit more separated from the politics, and there should be some way to hold it accountable. That 80% of your members dislike this. You should not send money to a party that 80% of your members, notably the people who actually give you your money, disagree with. That's just plain wrong. I think if I was the leader of that party, I would cease sending the money to the Labour Party, because clearly the people I'm supposed to represent, they do not want that. But that's a relatively minor issue, I'd say. That's just something that should be done, is wrong, but it's not a big issue. They like the trade union still does completes its primary function. It still does what it's meant to do, um, but it could certainly be better. So I, when I was younger, I really disliked it. I wanted there to be just no single party, because I saw how you know it puts a cap on the growth you can expect from wages. You can't just go out there and demand higher and higher wages, at least not on a union scale, as you want, because you're subordinate to this wider structure. But now as I'm older, I'm kind of see that the utility of that in this being basically unifying the entire Norwegian economy. We don't have ghost cities like in America. We don't have the Rust Belt. That never existed, because there's no place that gets insanely wealthy because it can push for super high wages, and then once that stops being economically viable, it just collapses and everyone flees, and the areas die. In Norway, it's more stable, unified, and it just it unifies the whole system. I think it's nice that janitors and engineers can both go on vacations. Even though not the same quality, of course, but I
Oh,
like that.
not together, like not on the same cruise ship.
No, no, no. Like
Oh,
you can't buy. You know, you can't. Even with the minimum wage, you can't go on a full-on vacation to
so there's like
like
different levels of vacation for the different. There's still stratification.
yes, the most poverty, like the poorest you can have is uh is to go on vacation like in Norway or in Scandinavia. Uh, you take your tent and you go to a camping place, and then above that you have just camping in Europe in general, and then you have plane flights in Europe in general, and then there's plane flights to the rest of the world. But most Europeans, they can afford to take whatever type of vacation they want. Like my
Right.
parents, we did camping some vacations because we just wanted to. And other times we took a plane flight to Greece because that's you have enough wealth to choose. Uh, but uh, but uh, what am I saying? Yeah, but the poorest people, they do not have that choice. They can only, it's just
They
camping
still get
vacations
a
for them.
vacation, but it's
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, of course. I mean,
it's whatever
even
vacation they give you.
if you work minimum wage and so long as you don't have, you know, multiple kids, uh, you can afford to save up to a proper vacation. Uh, you can afford to do that. It's not that expensive.
Vacation or kids? Vacation or kids?
Well, no. Minimum wage is minimum after all, and that's if you're one. If you're two people, you have a few kids, then it's possible. Like, just save wisely. Don't be too consumerist, and you can do whatever. Like Norway is. We have a lot of the socialist ethos. The execution is just not socialist all the time. And so that's why people confuse Scandinavia in general as being very socialist. We share a lot of ethos and the justification, whatever, but the execution isn't always socialist. Like, there are definitely socialist policies, like state-owned healthcare. That's certainly, you know, something you'll ascribe to socialism, but it's not always the case. And it's, there's no everybody is in support of the market, of the big parties. Everybody supports the market. They just want to they are disagree about how much intervention there should be. I suppose that's the same in most countries as well, but it's Norway is a very equal society in a sense. There's a famous quote by the Einar Gerhardsen, who's called the father of Norway. He was the prime minister elected right after World War II, who oversaw the reconstruction of Norway. And he has this famous quote that ingen skal ha kake før alle har fått brød. Nobody shall have cake before everybody has had bread, which is sort of a play on the French Revolution of let them eat cake. Nobody shall have
Let them
cake before
try to
everybody has
eat
bread.
cake. Let them just try eating that cake.
Yeah. No, but I don't, I think that to get the bread, you must necessarily allow people to get the cake. Uh, I think without allowing wealth to be generated, you won't get any wealth to redistribute. If you don't have rich people, how can you redistribute wealth? There is no wealth. But that sort of ethos is very strong. That we are willing to sacrifice our own cake to give other people bread. And this is, I'm not saying we as in the abstract. Like, I know people, like rich people, like engineers, doctors, people who could triple, quadruple their income if they moved to America. They have the skills. Norwegian education is elite. They could easily become a doctor in America. They don't, because they see it as that's just the right thing to do. I'll take a lower wage so other people can, live their lives and be good. Norway has Norway tends to view itself as one larger organism. We work for each other, and we,
That's
I can,
weird to me.
yeah, I know. That's a major distinction between
It's
Norway and
it
Europe.
seems like collectivism, which makes my nerves
It's
crawl.
voluntary collectivism, very
Ugh,
important.
like a cult.
Dugnad is one of them, like a pretty unique, I think it's Scandinavian, pretty unique Scandinavian thing. It's just voluntary. I know you also have that, like the Red Cross and whatever voluntary work, but Dugnad is this idea that, just for a lot of things, people just go out, and it's seen as a sort of social duty that, if you have a kid, he's on a sports team, you go out and do the work. If this and that, and, you sacrifice your goods to give to others, even though you don't have to. We don't like to enforce
But that
things like that.
voluntarily you can do all that, and people do it all the
Yes,
time
yes, it's voluntary,
to the
at
people
least
that they want to do it with.
yeah, to a large extent, it is voluntary. Although, of course, taxes and everything aren't exactly voluntary. But I mean, you could move to Monaco.
They can't
Although
be.
now there's an exit tax.
I pay mine, and I do it gladly and willingly.
Yeah, uh,
I'd have to do it anyway, but I'd do it
I don't pay mine
actively.
because I don't pay taxes. I don't earn enough. But in a few years, when I get
It's
an
you.
income, I
You're
might.
gonna love it, though, Bez. You're gonna have such an appreciation for society and civilization.
No, I think the current Norwegian tax code is overly punitive. It's not efficient. It's not pragmatic. Like, this is sort of the difference between the main right wing party and the left wing party. Both want an equalized society. They both want to distribute the means to a large extent. However, the right is pragmatist. If when it looks at taxes, it looks at what is going to generate us the most wealth with the least impact, so that we can distribute this most effectively. The Labour Party, it just looks at, it's not fair, and so we tax that. And so, for example, they tax inheritance because that is unfair. However, it's very inefficient because it ruins wealth generation, and it doesn't generate much. They tax wealth, which ruins wealth generation, gives them very little actual money, but they do their tax code out of morals, whilst the conservatives do it out of pragmatism. But both have the same goals: equalize society, just slight difference. Like, the state budget is 1% in difference between the main left wing and main right wing party. So there's very little, but
Well, I
one,
did see here in America that Republicans want to make all these cuts to like current. This could remake the whole landscape of
yeah,
the government right now.
I hope something like that happens in Norway. I just hope that it's rational, because a lot of taxes, like,
I hope
there's a
ours
lot of
is too.
taxes that generate very little income, but that has a disproportionately bad impact on the private sector. Like, the wealth tax has literally chased away billions of dollars in wealth that are now just lost. They are completely disastrous, generate very little. We don't need them, but they're still there. It's like, instantly get that away. The exit tax, that's just overly punitive, and they only put that in because people were running away from the wealth tax. So that the wealth tax hits entrepreneurs,
That's
now
what
will,
happened in America. They kept taxing us in the
yeah,
colonies, all these stupid little taxes. We got fed up with it.
yeah, and people escaped, and yeah, and but the worst thing, I believe, is the sales tax, the VAT,
Oh my gosh, come
25%.
on. You can't pay sales tax.
It's 25%, Jeff.
Oh Lord,
Currently,
my God, that's high.
currently groceries are like, that's the thing that modern people suffer with. It's the base necessities. Luxuries are easy. Everybody can afford luxuries. It's the simple things that people suffer from, and the state is just taking a constant 25% of everything. And we complain about the American tariffs. Like, sure, VAT is not directional. It just leeches money. It doesn't do it in a direction. like tariffs do. But like it's still 25%. It's horrendous.
That
It
is okay. I take it all back. That is
Yeah.
outrageous. Y'all have something
And,
wrong with y'all system.
and so that is also, the one tax that people in poverty also pay. If you want to fix
Yeah, but
poverty,
at 20, like at 25%, it would become a real problem. They would. You're right, Tommy, from the Greek.
yeah, like that
Um,
25% generates a lot
but
of
you
revenue.
feel it at 25%.
Yeah, you do. You feel it in
So
everything.
the poor could shoulder a 5 or 6% tax
Yeah,
thing, and it's in some places like in Seattle, it's not on food and stuff. So the necessities they don't have to pay it on if they're getting their food provided through the state.
yeah. We need to fix that because it's just too much. And
Texas
yeah,
was like that too. I don't think Texas taxes food.
the issue is though, Jeff, that the government, it needs it. It needs that income stream. Like the revenue generated from the sales tax is as big as revenue generated from income tax.
And poor people benefit from society. I don't really have necessarily have a problem with poor people having to pay a little bit of taxes.
No, no, of course, but that's just it's just hurting them. You would probably generate more by people consuming more and producing more and making more. That they have more to save, more left over, whatever. It's just it. They could have. It would. Oh, there's more ways to find it. Now, the issue is Norway doesn't even need the income. The Norwegian government is just inefficient.
Hmm.
It's just so damn inefficient that you could probably just remove sales tax completely if you just straighten up. Like, it's a huge issue. Uh, Norway is the government is too big, and I don't necessarily have anything against a powerful government. I just want it to be efficient. If you're gonna take our wealth and use it, at least do it properly. Like, what is this wasteful spending?
Well,
You know?
isn't that what elections are for?
Oh yeah,
Like
but none of the
you do have
candidates are
some
radical.
say in the
Yeah,
consequences of that, and you also have your voice, like whatever advocacy you do with your voice as well. You can
yeah. But
get
the
involved
thing
with your
is that
representatives, try to influence the votes, make some changes.
the
So you're
the,
not at
the
the mercy.
political parties are not exactly representative. They do they're always a milder version of what their constituents mean. Like, that's just a factor of being a parliamentarian system, is that you never get what you want because you always have to compromise. Um,
That's any political system.
yeah, yeah. Not to the
What
extent
kind
that
of political system do people want when they complain about having to compromise?
I'm not saying I like that we have to compromise. I just say that is the outcome of that is, there's not much different between left and right. As I said, the main left wing party and the main right wing party, uh, they have a 1% difference in the budget they want to do, and even the sort of tax relief party probably isn't that radical as well. But I if it happens slowly, I'm fine with that. Like, Norway came to wealth slowly, we can get it back slowly, but just be a bit more efficient. That's all I want. What is this wasteful spending? I know we spent like billions building a like a 10-mile railway. Like, it's insane how wasteful we are.
How do Germanics become so inefficient?
It's not that we are inefficient. The trait of Germanics is that they take a system to the extreme. The Germans wanted to be Rome, be Romans, and so they just destroyed the Roman Empire. They wanted to cosplay Rome. They created a Holy Roman Empire. Like, they took it too far. They wanted to be fascist. They made the Nazis. They wanted to be nationalist. They made whatever the hell that is. Now Germanics, they want the bureaucracy, the modern post-world order, and they take it to the extreme. This is just the bureaucracy taken to the extreme. Like,
Like in
ad-
Kafka?
yeah, like administrators are like the amount of administrators in the health sector has like increased by 20,
Oh,
whilst
it's like that
doctors by
here
2.
too.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
yeah, it's
It's an
very
issue
top
across the
heavy.
entire West, and
I
I
wonder
find
if
this
that's a
funny.
function of just the modern like
It is.
business corporate structure system.
If you look at society, you will see that there was always a few social classes that dominate. The trend is always one or two ally and dominate. Like in China, it was always the emperor and the bureaucracy, total domination. In Japan, it used to flicker between the empire and the bureaucrats or the samurai, the shogun, the military,
Uh,
social forces dominating. In Rome as well, that was the nobility and the peasantry then with the empire, the emperor and the peasantry. But in medieval Europe, and the Enlightenment and the early modern Europe, as a continuation of the Middle Ages, you had a balance. There was too many forces that were powerful. They couldn't dominate alone. Like the merchants, the bourgeoisie on one side, the peasantry, the king, the nobility, the priestly class. None of them could dominate society alone. They all balanced off each other. And
ah,
what has happened now in the modern world is that, you know, in fact, it is the bureaucracy that has managed to slowly grow more and more dominant. It's enabled by the people, and so you could
right. Oh
say,
yeah, I was about to say.
yeah, it's
Yes.
the peasantry and the bureaucracy allying together. It's just that the
Yes.
peasantry is a bit
Because it
naive.
makes our lives more comfortable and
Yes,
convenient, so
yes,
we
exactly.
tolerate it.
But I honestly think that it would be better if we had a bit more competition between the social classes. Like the
So
real
what
issue.
classes does that leave then? If there's the bureaucracy and the peasants, what are the other
Well,
classes?
you have the bourgeois, you have the private wealth, you have the king here in Norway, but he's symbolic. He's completely conquered by the bureaucrats, uh, and the nobility. The bureaucrats were very. They eradicated them pretty well, and I mean they have no more power. But honestly, it's not that hard. That like this is actually
That's all the more
Montesquieu.
reason to support rich people is if
Well,
independent wealth is the only alternative to bureaucracy or the
it's
only
not.
one managing not to be conquered by it.
It's not. The Enlightenment people, they had a solution. Because, Montesquieu, when he developed the separation of powers, he explicitly looked at the Middle Ages of the social classes, and he wanted to take that competition that breeds excellence and efficiency into the governments. He tried to ensure that the bureaucrats are efficient. They are forced to be efficient and
Well, it didn't
compete.
work.
Yes, exactly, because the
I don't
same
think you can
people.
rely on the bureaucrats to
No, you
be part of the solution.
Well, the idea was that these institutions were powerful enough to keep the bureaucrats at bay. That the legislative actually had to compete with
Well,
the executive
that's
and the
kind of what
judiciary.
Trump is trying to do is bring the
Yeah,
bureaucracy under
yeah,
the control of the government.
yeah. Although that to me just feels like it's just putting the power of the bureaucrats into the executive instead of the legislative or
Yeah,
the
but
people.
at least that's already a
Yeah,
legitimized form of government.
yes, it is.
And
So I,
it is accountable to the people.
Yeah, and I think that with a modern state, you need a bureaucracy. Like, you need a pretty girthy one as well. Like, you can't avoid that. You want to be efficient, but you can't avoid that it will be a major power, and it will always hold sway over elected officials. But I do think that there's things you can do. Like, the fact that the Supreme Court is dominated by the same ideologies and thus the same politics and ideas as the legislative, as the executive, means that it's just the same battle, the same people in all
But
three.
no, they have you been looking at their rulings? They've been ruling against Congress and Trump. They seem very independent.
I don't know American politics, but in Norway at least,
Oh,
it is
yeah.
that like the Supreme Court, they do rule against the legislative, but they are the same social classes. There's the same ideas. It's just that they may disagree and look at the institutional, whatever is the constitution, whatever. But like, it's not that separate because you have to sort of imagine that before the modern Europe, the judiciary, that was basically the priestly class. That was the Catholic Church that made manly laws through the kings, like king plus priestly class. That's the judiciary, which is very independent from the legislative, which is usually either not bureaucrats, either the nobility or the merchant class, and the executive is obviously the king. But now, the judiciary is completely separated from its sort of metaphysical origins. And now I don't know what to do. I think a temporary solution is to obviously just do a doge, just go through it, cleanse the bureaucratic sphere, but that'll just push it into the future. You will face the problem again because you need that to govern, and it becomes very easy. Like you've seen this with American president. They have these wild ideas and speech and whatever, and then they arrive and they find out that it's just easier to play with the
Well, you
bureaucrats.
have to
Let's
tame
push
the
in the direction.
bureaucracy, and that's what Trump's trying to do.
Yes,
And that's what DEI tried to do in a different way. They hijacked it
indeed.
and tried to turn it into their purposes.
The scary thing though about Trump trying to tame the bureaucracy or conquer it is that the American bureaucracy is the glue of global civilization. It is innately tied to the American
Well, that's
empire.
global civilization's problem, not ours. I'm
Well,
serious that
as
if
a
you're
yes,
that tied in with us, that's because you're tying yourself in with us.
yes, I know, I agree. But as a Norwegian, I like the global system, and so I'll advocate in a way that, like, this is when people ask me if would have supported Trump or anything about America. In all honesty, I always sort of separate. I answered twice. I answered first, what if I was an American with my personality and whatever? Like me, just I in America, my loyalty to Norway is instead to America. And B, as I am now. Because as I am now, that's very different. Uh, so it varies. But yeah, I like I am. I'm not sure I like the full separation of powers. I think it's very important to separate the judiciary from the legislative and executive, but I do probably prefer what most of Europe does, which is that the legislative and executive are basically merged. Like the executive
Well,
comes from the legislative, is subordinate to it, and so we have only twofold separation of powers, while you have threefold.
this started with talking about the different layers that dominate society,
Yes,
and we were looking at some of the modern layers, and you said the bureaucracy and the peasants are in a very strong alliance that's
yeah.
keeping the
Then you have
bureaucracy going. And I
yes.
asked, well, outside of that, what are the groups that are not part of that alliance, that are either independent or also forming a bloc?
You have the king and the military. The military is tied to the king. The military is loyal to the king, not the state. Fun fact: in most monarchical countries, the military is
Oh.
loyal to the king. On paper, most of them probably wouldn't side with the king. Actually, I'm not sure. Like, military people are the most monarchist people I know. Like, I'm sure that a few generals would side with the king over the state if it came to it. But like, so you have that social power, but it's sort of neutered by the legislative here in Norway. And in America, the military is an extension of the executive, and so that's the fact. And your king is an extension of your peasantry, so that's also not a
So then,
separate
are
social
you are
class.
you separating government from bureaucracy? Is government its own distinct layer?
Um, it depends. I think that like it depends how political is the bureaucracy. It's in Russia. There's no separation between Putin, the government, and the bureaucracy. You know, whilst in America, there's certainly a separation between Trump and the government, and I do also think there's a separation between his government and the bureaucracy because he does disagree and fight against the bureaucracy. It's clearly that
Yeah.
they are two
It
separate
makes it
powers.
hard to figure out the layers.
Yeah, it does. It
So we
does.
don't
And that's
like this sense of we don't really know who's running things or who's in charge might have some substance to it. If people can't even figure out which groups are currently dominating society, then it leaves your imagination open to all kind of
Yeah,
wild
that is the issue.
surmise.
Like, we see which ideologies dominate society, but we don't know exactly which people. Like, who do we have to remove or put in place to
Yeah.
fix this? Like, it's certainly that the president, if he can't, fix the executive with a snap of his finger, like, what even is the executive? Like, isn't the whole point of the executive that there's a centralized power? The legislative that's distributed, balanced power. Whilst the executive that's like really centralized. That's the whole point. It's like the executive is literally based on absolutist Europe. Like,
Well,
it's
that's what
based on
Trump is trying. That's how Trump's trying to
yeah,
perform it.
yeah. I kind of have a soft spot for the French executive because it's the most disproportionately powerful executive outside of dictatorships in the West. Because
Outside of the what?
dictatorships, like,
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
they have more power, but like in a democracy, in a liberal democracy, the French president has a lot of powers. He's very powerful. And I kind of like that because that's sort of the whole point of the executive. If you're going to separate the powers, then make them actually different. You know, like one is very centralized, very autocratic. And, if you don't like that person, switch him out in 5 years. Whilst the other is more it's it's more just a snapshot of the general vibe of the population. You need a strong-willed leader to do the actual execution of the state, to steer it, but then to figure out what the people actually want. It's much better to have a whole assembly that's voted based on the general population and not just one person. But with the bureaucracy being so powerful in the executive, it's difficult. I don't think Norway has that same power because the bureaucracy is innately tied to the legislative, and the executive is also a sort of subordinate to the legislative, and so it's very like if we could just vote correctly, what we vote actually matters. It's just that people vote for the status quo, and the status quo is
Well,
by
that means
definition
that
bureaucracy.
that's what they want. Is that not the will of the
Yeah.
people?
Oh yeah,
They
it
don't
is.
want your system. They want what's currently there.
Well, Well, this is why people are veering towards direct democracy, and some people want that because they find that to be accepted in the government, to actually get things done, they have to mellow down their politics so much that you wouldn't have voted on them if they were honest. Like if the right wing parties campaigned on what they were going to do in government, they will not be voted in because that's not what people want.
So they
It's just that,
lie when to get in, and when they get in, they do different
yeah,
stuff. Then,
yeah, to a certain extent, and
well, then they get voted out. I imagine.
yeah, but it doesn't help with getting more radical parties because uh, if you let's put it like this:
Is that the norm or the exception, though?
well, the center and the left have the same ideology, and they will always secure majority. So if you are too extreme on the right, you'll just be blocked out. You will not be able to be in government, and your vote will be useless. Uh, so it's not useless, but you know what I mean. It's if you push too far to the right, then the left wing wins, and then you're useless. You're useful if you're very minor on the right, you have a seat or two, and the right wing is in power, because then you can influence the right wing. But if the left
So
wing
does
is in
that
power,
mean
you're
that the
useless.
lying is the norm, or that you have to lie, say one thing and do another, and that's
Yeah,
normal?
yeah, and no party presents what they know. Like all parties, well, not all parties, but most parties on the right know what the voters actually want. They just don't wanna don't wanna implement that to the same extent. I mean, I understand why, because a lot of what the party people want is to upend the, shall we say, I've heard people refer to that as the 89 system. People in Norway, like the government sort of belief system and ideology that was implemented after the fall of the Berlin Wall. That sort of neoliberal euphoria
Yo, yo.
was put into politics, and yeah, I'm not a fence sitter, Lanny. I do pick
Oh,
a
was that
side.
for you? I was trying to figure out who that was for.
I think
Hey,
it's me. I don't
Ricardo.
know. Maybe it is
Hi,
me, but
Jeff. How you
I'm not a
doing, man?
fence sitter. I
Oh, you're
just
coming in very clear tonight.
Oh, that's
is
good
that
stuff.
unusual?
I like it when my technology works for me
Yeah,
rather than against me.
we all do.
Oh,
Is that the first? Is that your first bite of chocolate, or were you having some earlier?
No, I've had one row,
Oh,
so 3 bites before.
okay.
It's
Well.
just
so I didn't mean to hijack the conversation or whatever, but
Oh no,
I was
you could.
just
That's what
hearing.
we do here. Hijack
Yeah,
away.
I certainly didn't mean to be
What's
rude,
on
but
your mind?
I'm just not interested in politics really, and socialism and democracy is all fake. Voting doesn't make any difference. So I've just become very, very what's the word? Disillusioned with the whole stinking system. So
Hmm.
I just don't engage. Simple as
Do
that.
you feel more empowered that way or less empowered? It sounds disempowering, but it might actually
No, no,
give you more of a
I don't
sense of
feel less.
empowerment to disengage.
Yeah, because it's like I just don't. I'm just not going to play their game. I don't believe in the way they play the way they run the system. I don't agree with it. There's so many things wrong with it. So to hope that it's ever going to improve it, all we have to do is just vote, put our tick in the right box, vote for the right party at the right time, and maybe the country will be saved. But I don't think so. It's never
well,
happened yet.
What needs saving right now the most?
um
Western civilization.
U- the UK.
oh yeah, the planet, man.
Oh, you meant I thought you meant the UK. The politics.
Well, can talk about the
No, vote.
UK,
We're
but
not at the stage that voting is going to save the planet because it takes all the countries to
no,
all get on
what
board somehow, and that we're not there yet.
we've got. I don't know if you've heard, but we've had an alternative party for quite a while here called the Green Party, and they
Yeah.
obviously they
Is that Jill
mostly
Stein? Was
focus
she
on
Green Party?
green issues.
Yeah, she was Green Party Jeff in
Oh,
America.
okay.
But they've never won. They never get close because of the way the system's run. It's a first
But did they
past the
get
post
seats?
system. It's not completely fair.
But also, Ricardo, like, even if you vote, doesn't matter much. It won't save the system. Like, as I talked with Jeff earlier, the main right wing party and the main left wing party, they have a 1% difference in budget, but it's still up to
Hmm.
you which way you want that 1% to go. Like,
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
lifetime, will you push it that way or that way? It might be gradual, it might be very little, but you'd rather want 1% less pain. And if you can make that change by spending one day of the year, I would consider that worth it. Every minor change is still change, and I think giving up on
I believe we've got to make the changes on our own for ourselves and each other obviously on a local level first,
you
and
can do
then
that all in addition. It's just one day
yeah.
to push it in the better direction. And also, I do think that the left are better at actually going out and voting. You know, you won't have a socialist not vote because they are really into it, and so they'll get a lot more power. Push it that way you don't want. Like the people are unenthusiastic about politics. Their political
Mm.
ideas will naturally be the ones that are losing because they are not enthusiastic. They're not out and voting. Whilst the political ideas that might be fringe are winning a lot because they are enthusiastic about it.
Have you
Like
ever yeah tell me, Dolbez, once you once you've got those nuts out of your mouth. Sorry, I had to say that. Have you do you think what do you think would happen if more than 50% of people, the population of any country, any so-called demo- democracy, so-called, didn't vote, didn't participate at all, then that would mean more people would be against the status quo, the system, the establishment, than for them. So then, what would happen then? Do you think?
I've actually had this discussion before with my teacher, and
Mm,
I think that at least what should happen is that the government isn't legitimate. We have a king. He should not accept any government to come, and will be without the government until they can actually vote in something people agree with. I if you don't get the assent of the population, you have no right to rule. And I think we'll see very quickly if the government actually cares about democracy or not. Because if they form a government
mm,
without majority, they are not democratic. They just pretend to be. I think, at least in Norway, I think the people actually care. I don't think they would be willing
mm,
to form a government if a majority didn't vote, because that just says that people are so dissatisfied with the system that that,
mm,
like, honestly, I think if they didn't
mhm.
vote, there's
The
no
comment books.
elected official who has any right to rule. The judges do not have a right to rule. The bureaucrats who are elected do not have a right to rule. Literally, the person
Hmm.
with the most right to rule in that scenario is literally the king. Like, it is his right to rule. He just
Do
gives it
you
away
have
to the people
do you
when
have
they
a
don't
royal?
propose someone.
We have a king here. Do you
Yeah,
have a now the queen obviously died. Do you have
yeah,
We got plenty of
a royal
queens.
family? Do you have a
yes,
royal
we
family
do.
in God Save
Yes,
the
we
Queen and
do.
all that shit? What do you have
King
over there?
Harold,
King Harold.
glorious King Harold.
I love the lighting
Mm.
that's changing.
Yeah, King
What
Harold.
What's he like?
direction are we? That's the west.
This is. Wait. Let me think. That's. This is E. No, this is west. Yeah, this is west.
Oh, okay,
Out the window
nice.
is west.
Jeff, you're
Yeah.
talking about windows. I'm just gonna ask you, do you even have a window in that room?
I do. I have a thing over it for the lighting because it
I've
would
never seen
interfere
it.
with my internet lighting.
Oh, so you got black
Yeah,
shades
I
over the
blacked it
window.
out.
Oh. Do you ever get like do you ever miss it? Do you ever think,
I
man,
know
I
I
need
didn't
some
even once I
sunlight?
blacked it out, I didn't even notice it was blacked out. So I must not have missed it because I figured
But
I would black it out for the winter and then pull it down, or no, black it out for the summer to keep the heat out, and then pull it down for the winter to
yeah.
let the sunlight in. But I never did,
Uh-huh.
and I hardly noticed.
You just kept it
So it
left
makes
behind.
like a cave when I turn my light off. It's that dark
It's
cave
cool.
effect, which I like.
Yeah, it's a cool atmosphere anyway you create. It's nice. I was just wondering about
Hmm.
the window. I think I can see light coming in from the right. Is
Yeah,
that
you could probably see a little crack of light
yeah.
coming through.
Hmm.
So that's where the window is. For people
Well
that
it's
want to
just
come
got
and throw
that.
rocks at it, or sing sonnets, or stalk, whatever. People do at
Come
windows
on, that never
nowadays.
happens. You get trolled you're
Goodness, thank you
saying
for some more
you
chat.
get trolled in real life, Jeff.
Well, hasn't happened yet, but it has happened to YouTubers, from what I
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, it has. But you know, it's just entertainment for clicks and views
Yeah,
for
but
most
it's
people.
entertainment at other people's expense.
Yeah, well, somebody usually ends up calling the police, and then it's a big hoo-ha, and
And I
somebody
don't believe
films
the
it, and
police, like our police force, should be involved in people's YouTube entertainment. Like, I don't think that's what the police force should be wasting their time
no,
on. And so I think people
you
that
think they should
use
have
them for
nothing
that,
to
the
do with
penalty should be very high.
anything that happens on social media? You don't think they should have anything to do with it, or what if people get really like threatened and really badly, and
Well, that at least here in the
someone's
U.S., from what I
life
understand,
is in danger?
that threats that's done at the state or local level, and it's different across the U.S. as to what's a threat, what the legality or illegality of it is, what it's classified as, etc. So to me, when I was involved in it, it went by the state of the person who was making the threat, where it was no, the person receiving the threat, and the laws were different from the
Mhm.
state of the person making the threat. and so they didn't act on it.
Oh, that's crazy. Because state laws change from state to state, even though
Yeah, and
you're
so
in the
it
same
creates
country.
complication in trying to figure out which laws take precedent and what to enforce and who to enforce it, who's going to enforce it, how is it going to be enforced.
Oh,
So something like just getting on the internet and threatening somebody is
is
hard to
mm,
it's hard to sort out criminally. Like you can do it,
yeah.
the platform can do it through their policies.
Mm. We all know YouTube don't do much, though, do they? The YouTube police are pretty much toothless, if not useless.
Oh my, it's sunny over there.
Yeah, it's
Don't
nice
say
out.
that. It's just
Oh,
my
well,
Have you
opinion, guys.
tried reporting
Don't
people
shoot
to
me.
YouTube?
Have I?
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, a couple of times. Well,
Oh.
once or twice. Yeah, I was getting trolled pretty badly, and people were actually making like death threats and saying they were going to
To
come and meet
you?
me. And yeah,
Like
yeah.
you hardly say anything like
And I just laughed it off.
controversial or like I can't imagine like you catching the target of somebody.
Well, I do. I actually do have quite a lot of controversial opinions. Hi, Mike. How's it going,
Hey,
mate?
what's up?
See you
What's
there.
up? What's up?
Cool,
Good to
dude.
see you.
So, yeah, I just don't. I don't know. Maybe you haven't heard them all yet.
No, you
But
seem so nice and mild
I've gotten
mannered for YouTube. Like who would ever want a
a
death threat, Ricardo?
You know, I got to be honest with you, real quick. I got to be honest with you.
crazy.
You know, what we do on social media is one thing, but for people to come to someone's home or to come to someone's job or to come in someone's hotel room, like it was other day, you know, the Thorpes got a visit. People have called welfare checks on people, CPS on people. These are very mentally ill people because this is entertainment. It's not. We're not looking to fight. We're not looking to scrap it out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? The thing is this. I've had people tell me they're coming to my home. You know, they'll see me tomorrow. They don't show up because if they
Has
show
any of
up,
that ever happened?
the only thing I ever got was we got a swatting one time. That was it. That was
Oh,
the only thing that ever happened. That was about a year ago. That was the only thing that ever happened. Other than that, no
They
one's
swat
coming here,
you.
dude. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Brass tacks. Someone comes to my home, okay? I'm gonna be level headed. I'm gonna be level headed. I'm not gonna get into a physical altercation unless they try to breach my door. They try to come in my home.
you
I'm
talking
gonna
about
def-
you
I'm,
would talk to him through the door or through the
no, I would
peephole?
not. I wouldn't even
Oh,
speak to him. I
well,
wouldn't even
how would
speak
you
to
know
him.
who it was? Like if you get a knock at your door, how would you even know
Yeah,
it's them?
because you could see through the door.
Oh, okay. So you would look, you would see, okay, that's so and so. I'm not even going to open the door.
I'm not going to engage this person. I'm not going to give them anything they're looking for. I'm just simply going
Well,
to call
why are you
police
always saying online? Come to say it to my face. If you come and say it to
because
my
they won't.
face, you wouldn't be acted that way. It's not going to
That's
go
right.
the
Well,
way it's
if
going.
they saw me in person, if I was out walking down the street and they got
Oh,
into my
okay.
face, that'd be a whole
So they
different
just have
story.
to run into your face somewhere. They can't go
That's it.
seek your
That's
face
it.
out. Okay, that makes
But
sense.
Mike,
being
I
being
think.
being older, being younger, being just hear me out real quick. Being younger, yeah, I'd fly the door open. What you want? You want to scrap it? No. That's being a younger moron. You just as you get older, you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to go to prison for beating up someone from YouTube.
No, I don't want to go to
It's
prison for
stupid.
anything.
It's dumb. It's dumb. But these people, they're getting more and more emboldened. And I got to tell you, I got to say one thing. This guy showed up to a hotel room with a father and his daughter and brought them a pizza and was the completest weirdo I've ever seen. Dude,
It was for
you show up.
content. They probably set that up. It's probably
No,
just for
they didn't.
laughs.
No, they did not. Dude, I know the
I
Thorpes. They
can't
did
rule
not.
that out with this
They
group,
did
but I
not.
don't want
No,
to talk about them. That's
yeah.
on my
But
topic
all I'm trying to
list.
say is this: there are different kinds of people in this world. Like, in other words, this particular instance, they were calm and collected. They talked it out.
But I don't
They
want to
they
talk
were
about them.
yeah.
So
But the whole point is, if someone shows up to the wrong person's house, it could be the end of
Yeah,
their
that's
life.
why I don't think anybody
Yeah,
should be playing with any of that.
yeah,
Keep it
yeah. It could be
online.
the end of their life. And then
Keep it online.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know. And the greatest thing is this. What I've done now is if somebody is getting too ridiculous, I just block them. I just block them and move on. That's it.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I troll a little bit, but people that get really nasty, I'm evolving into this the whole game. But
You're not
I'm getting
evolving. You're
I'm evolving.
yo-yoing back and forth between two different
Of
aspects,
course,
but they're
of
both
course.
there, and I don't think you're growing
Yeah,
out of either one of them.
Devolving,
yeah,
maybe.
But I don't think it's devolving either, because I
yeah.
think each aspect is becoming fortified.
Learning the game, learning the
The
game.
right word.
But Caller, I'm sorry you go through that. You went through that. But, you know, people get keyboard
Shit
tough
happens,
guy.
man.
You know, oh look how tough I am online. You know, and it's silly. It really is silly.
No, nothing ever happened.
Yeah. But there was I think there is a recent one. We're not going to say names, but there was a recent one that's been online. It was two famous YouTubers, and the one YouTuber confronted the other YouTuber and smacked him in the face. Smacked him right in the face on camera. That's assault. So that did actually happen, and that was not set up. He tracked down his address. He found him in a parking lot. And he smacked him across the face. So now he's going to have to face legal charges for smacking the guy. Listen, if you want to confront somebody and put them on camera and laugh at them, that's fine. But you don't put your hands on anybody. You don't smack somebody. There's no need for that over YouTube words. There's no need for that. That's all I'm trying to say. You know, and he's a little guy. He's a little fat guy. You know, and the other guy's the other guy's much larger. So that's not cool, dude. You're a bigger guy. You're gonna go smack some little fat guy over YouTube words. That's silly, dude. You know, that's silly.
I remember when I was really young, there was the big controversies in the Norwegian YouTube scene because there was this one guy who accused every single other one of pedophilia and exploiting children, and there were multiple lawsuits, and this guy just got bodied again and again by the laws because they affirmed that that's defamation.
Yeah.
So he got punished a lot.
Yeah, Dolbez. I just got accused of that the other a couple days ago, and it's a complete lie. It's been proven that it's not true. And what they're doing is they're trying to go as low as possible. So I already know this person's name, and I'm debating if I want to go further because they're putting my name out there, my actual real name, saying that I have abused people, and I have not. It's not true. And yeah, you're right. It's defamation of character. You're right.
Especially if they have a big reach. Like, I argue that this panelverse doesn't have big enough reach to, at least in the Norwegian courts, like the size we talk about here is in the hundreds of thousands and close to millions of views. And so, like, the panelverse, I don't know if that's big enough to call it, like, is it defamation if, you aren't reliant on your fame? Like, if you're a YouTuber, your fame is everything. That's your revenue stream. But if you're on the panel as a hobby, only people on the panel know this. I don't know if you would be able to argue a defamation ruling through. Although I'm not sure on American laws. They might be more harsher on this.
Ooh. Hang on, pretty
Right,
light.
so-
Sorry.
Testing my light.
They win every time.
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome. So Dolbez, it depends on the different states and different laws. So the Commonwealth of Virginia, they have very strict cyber stalking and cyber harassment laws, and a lot of people will make things up and post things that are not true and fake court records and all kinds of stuff, and it's defaming your character, but it's also cyber harassment. So it's a considered harassment charge. They can get charged for it. They actually can get criminally
the
charged.
FBI has a cyber harassment page, and
Yeah.
I think the local enforcements do.
Now, keep this in mind, gentlemen. I may be a pain in the ass on the internet, but I don't have any videos. I don't post any people's pictures. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't put any of that stuff online. I don't do that. But these people go to great lengths to try to discredit you. But what they do is they make stuff up. They just make up stuff out of thin air.
What
and
other topic are we going to talk about? Because we've heard
Yeah.
this one.
well, it's a good topic because people are getting more and more
But
emboldened.
it's the same
Yeah.
time. My
It's
whole
never gonna
channel
stop,
now
Mike.
is the
Mike,
comment
it's never
of
gonna
what these
stop,
people
man.
do.
It's
Yeah.
never going to stop unless you want it to stop.
Yeah.
Because
You know
you're a
what's
part of it.
good
You
know?
thing
keep it
about it
going
though,
too.
Mike? You know what's one
No,
good part
someone's going to get
about
hurt if this keeps up. People keep making threats. Someone is eventually going to get hurt,
Sure.
and nobody wants that to happen, right? So
This started with hearing Ricardo's story. He mentioned that
Yeah.
he had tried to report people on YouTube and
mm,
they didn't do anything. That he was getting death
no,
threats.
I didn't
Well,
even get
I've
anything
I've had
back from them.
I've had channels removed for
No
threats and
reply.
stuff. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, talking about they're gonna come and K-word me and stuff. So I've actually had channels removed for those things, and they should be removed. People should
Yeah,
not be
that seems
talking about
easy to get removed.
yeah
Something like that.
yeah because that should not be online. Talking about K-wording people, that should not be online. You know, it only takes one
But
nutbag.
hang on, getting back to Ricardo, what happened when you talked to YouTube?
Nothing. I mean, I tried to. Have you ever put a defamation claim in?
Hmm.
It's quite a long form. It's not an easy process, and they want all kinds of stuff, evidence, and whatever. And I don't know. I couldn't get through it. But there
So
was
just the
legal
form
stuff. I
itself
wanted.
was the barrier.
What I really wanted was some proper legal advice, and I couldn't really. I didn't find any. So because there's hardly any legal aid
I think you have to
available
pay
here
for
anymore.
that.
It's very limited. So yeah, not just nothing really happened. But I don't think they're easy to get. It's easy to get hold of somebody from YouTube on the phone, like
No, I
somebody
think
with
it's
a
all
bot.
done through email and the website. It's very
Yeah.
talking about bureaucracy. Dobez, have you
Anyway,
ever
things
been
blow over.
reported or tried to report someone or have any kind of internet drama?
No. I've never been involved with any court proceedings. The closest I've been is some citizenship because I'm half Swedish, half Norwegian. But I was born before my parents married, and so I was set on my mother's citizenship and not my father's. And so just updating that to dual citizenship is the closest I've got to the legal scene of my country. I've never been involved in any court hearings and anything. I haven't reported anyone. No crimes
Lucky
involved,
you.
whether on me or by me. But have I had any more internet drama? I suppose there's. I did get quite heated on this channel with the one guy claiming rainbows was fake. Do you remember
What was
that guy,
fake?
Jeff?
Which one?
Rainbows were fake.
Oh, a long time. Yeah, I do remember that one. Not that it was
Yeah.
fake, but he had this complex explanation for it of why it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
really funny. That I remember, I got quite heated in that, and that's because that was around the time when I had climate science class in high school, and so I was kind of into it, and it's like, how dumb are you? I tend to avoid talking like that, in part because I'm European. Usually keep that stuff on the inside, and
I'm
also,
European too.
I'm not arrogant enough to say that I am always correct.
I love
Even though I
Europe.
think I'm correct, I might be wrong, and so
I
it's
do.
better to just be a bit careful. Like, there's a lot of topics here where I might want to interject, and that's kind of dumb. That's kind of, what the fuck is this? That's
Well, I
kind of
hope you
dumb.
feel free to whatever you want, especially if the
Yeah.
conversation starts to devolve.
Do remember though that I care about my image, and
Ooh, what? No, I didn't know.
and this.
I assume nobody that comes here cares about their image.
Well, me debating whatever it is, like creationists,
I do.
Christian nationalists, or whatever,
I do, Jeff.
that isn't really fruitful. It's more interesting to just listen, even though I certainly disagree on a lot of points. And so it's sort of, I'm not here to debate. I'm here to just have fun, and I constantly try to remember that I'm not here to proselytize the truth. The truth can be spread without me. It's not my duty to spread the truth, and I don't know if I have the correct truth, and so I'm just here to have fun and enjoy myself. But there are some times where I sort of feel the need to interject. But I can't remember any conversation other than well, I suppose we have had a lot of disagreement that I think is, as we talk about, that's just down to personality, like how we view groups. Do they exist, or are they just tools, whatever? But that isn't internet drama. That's just intellectual disagreement. So aside from that rainbow dude, I don't think I've had
But
any.
no cops coming to your house or death threats or
No,
having
nothing
to
like that.
report a channel.
Well, yeah, no, I'm young though. Maybe in the future I'll have cops come to my house because of my social media postings. Maybe I will, but no, what is the most
Well, that's
controversial
good.
thing I've done?
You're doing it right.
Yeah, I suppose the most troll-like behavior I've been. Sadly, it wasn't recorded, but it was around the time of the local elections in Norway, and each party sent a representative to the school. They presented whatever, and then afterward they have a town square or whatever. They're just standing around. People can approach them and talk. And me and my friends, our whole friend group went up to the communists. Just stood there chatting for 30 minutes, and by the end, he was like, I'm so glad to see fellow comrades, even at this age. Like, I'm so relieved for the future. Like, I thought it was lost. And now I see that, oh, you've saved my future. And we're like the most anti-communists you can find. But we completely, presented a false image to him. He literally believed that we were communists. Which is sort of I offer that. Oh, there's a lot of wind there.
It's probably This probably Mike
Yeah.
who's outside.
But
Ricardo, are
after
you folding clothes?
Yes,
It's
I
very
am.
relaxing.
doing chores.
It's like to look at. It's very pleasant. Like a
Oh,
a
it's a lovely
visual
to
If
describe.
you want more
ASMR.
movement, Jeff, I can make I can talk like this if you need movement to relax. No, but after that, I got more
Sometimes I
confident
do.
in debating communists because that was sort of a mark of approval that I actually understand communism. When a literal communist says that I'm so glad to have you, comrades, then I can sort of, okay, I know what I'm talking about. And after that, I was much more open because I sort of had, I affirmed that I actually know my stuff to a decent extent. But I wish that was recorded. We never told him we weren't communists because we're not bad people. Like he was alone. Nobody approached him because nobody likes communists aside from communists, and even the communists don't like communists.
Yeah,
So
they
he
don't
was
even
very
like each
sad.
other. Why do they?
Yeah,
They're just stuck forming a society together because nobody else
yeah.
wants them.
He was very sad, standing alone. That basically because the almost not communist party, the SV, Socialist Left, they're like that party but cool, like feminist, and so they get all the girls, and then he's just standing there so sad and alone. So we didn't break it to him that we weren't communists. We just allowed him to live with the lie because it seemed like he needed it, and we're good people, we're not bad people. But it was really funny. It is really funny to pretend that yes, comrade, let us overthrow the government.
Mike, how are the cats?
I haven't seen them. It's funny because I don't know where they go, but they only really come out like at night. Like, cause I look for them sometimes, like during the day. They only roam around at night. So I'm not sure if they
So they
have like
don't
a
stay
little.
there. They're just wandering by.
No, they go up and down the street, and they just happen to appear. And if I see them, I'll put some food out. But I'm not sure exactly where their little home base is. I don't know where it is. Yeah, but I haven't seen them. But yeah, that was fun last night. You have to admit that was actually fun, feeding the cats and
I
hanging
enjoy
out
it,
with the cats. Yeah, it was cool, man. Yeah,
but then
I
I
love
enjoy
that
watching
cat.
people fold clothes. So.
I love that cat, dude. That cat is so cool. Yeah,
People are
that's the
suggesting you turn your camera sideways.
why.
We might just to get a better view
No, I'm good.
of the background.
Well,
I'm
there's
good.
more of the push.
Yeah,
good.
more
I'm
the
good on that.
push.
Yeah, I'm getting aggravated. No, I'm good. I'm good on that.
What's
Yeah.
aggravating you?
Just the negativity, not from you, Jeff. The negativity gets on my nerves. No.
Mike, that negativity is everywhere you go. Like, you must stay aggravated the minute you sign on YouTube.
Jeff, if you think I'm really aggravated, I'm just joking. It's funny. No, but it's just you got the little chirpers in the background. That's all.
Yeah, they're always in there when you're here.
They're always
It's
going to
been
chirp.
that
There's
way
always
from the beginning of
unhappy,
creation.
obese people that sit behind a keyboard with their fat little sausage fingers, and they'll never come up and talk. They'll never come up and talk and confront you. They'll never do
Well,
it.
no,
They have
not
little.
on my paddle.
They have little sausage fingers. That's what it is. It's little sausage fingers.
Like
You
King
just have to
Charles.
get that out.
Yeah.
Ricardo,
Oh my
is it true
goodness.
that King
You
Charles
see, you're
has
trying to
sausage
find
fingers?
opportunities to troll.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
That's fine. That's fine, man.
Little birdies are flying around. Little tiny birdies.
Oh,
I have
Always looks nice.
we have
Always looks
we have
nice
bird
where you are, Mike.
we have bird feeders. So the bird
Green.
feeders, when they get empty, they're always like hanging around. They want more feed. Yeah, you can hear them singing, right?
Yeah,
You hear 'em?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're everywhere. The birds are everywhere.
Wow.
I love it. I love it.
It's like that.
Birds and cats and all kinds of stuff.
And cops, gunfire.
Yeah, we don't have any
All
wild
kind of
dogs.
ambiance down there.
A lot of the neighbors have dogs. A lot of our neighbors have dogs, but they don't really get loose. They're usually very well kept and stuff like that. Like my next door neighbor has a couple dogs, but they're very well behaved dogs. But like you don't ever see like random dogs running down the street. Sorry, it's a bird. Yeah, it's but in New York, when I grew up in New York, there was like packs of dogs. Like the dogs would be running up and down the street. It was the craziest thing you ever seen.
In the city? Like the city?
Yeah, just run.
What did
just
they
dogs.
didn't do anything about it?
Well, you got dog catchers, you got animal control, but I mean, in New York, they don't give a crap, dude. They don't care. They don't give a shit, man. We have really good animal control here. If you call animal control, they'll show up in an hour or two, and they'll catch the dog. These are the
That's
collar
what we
with-
had. That's what we're used
Yeah.
to doing. There's
Now,
people
animal
for that.
control. Animal control in Virginia Beach, they're
Never
actually
did fire alarm.
yeah. But the animal control in Virginia Beach, they're actually police officers. They carry firearms and everything. They're actually police officers. So yeah, it's a division of the police department. It's animal control, but it's a division of the police department. It's not like some guy with just a pole. Like these, they're firearms. They have a freaking shotgun in the car, everything, because they deal with all kinds of craziness. Yeah. It's wild, man. I couldn't imagine being animal control, having
How
to
do I know?
wrangle snakes and stuff, and like in certain states, bears, like they have to deal with bears and stuff like that. I couldn't imagine that job. That's got to be wild.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a wild job. They don't get paid enough, but they're super cool here. Like the police department here in my city, they're super cool. They're super chill. They're super cool.
Where
They really
are you
are.
now? It looks like a hallway, like a building.
Yeah, I'm walking through the house.
Oh, okay. Looks like a hospital.
I'm gonna put away my clothes so
Oh, okay.
there's no crease. They don't end up with creases in them.
Yeah, but some of the
that's what
some
I
of the-
didn't do. That's why my t-shirts are gonna have wrinkles on them for the next 2 weeks.
Thank you for reminding me. I wet clothes in the washer.
Yay! We did good. That was our good we did for the world today. We helped somebody do their laundry. Hey, Kane.
Yeah, one thing I find fascinating is that, like I said, like some of these, some of the state police, the wildlife officers, they deal with some large animals.
Do they have
deal
a
with
TV show like Cops, but with animals?
Yeah.
Animal control.
Look up the videos on the Florida wildlife enforcement, and Florida they have a lot of variations, and I'm pretty sure that they're actually state police officers. So they have statewide jurisdiction, but Florida wildlife, and then you have the Alaskan troopers. They deal with all these bears and mooses, and I mean, these animals that can K-word you. I remember watching one of the Alaskan State Troopers episodes where there was like a moose in the road, and then it started to hit a car, like that it was ramming a car. This moose is like ramming a car. It's like, yo, that is some scary stuff, man. That's scary.
Well, if you got some big bull bars on the front of your four-wheel drive.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
I would put the antlers on my car.
The craziest thing is that did you guys ever see the videos of people that go on the safaris with the open Jeep, and like lions and stuff will jump into the Jeep with them? You ever see those?
Don't they have the people with the rifles there?
These are wildlife preserves, but you go on a tour, and there's one rifles. Video. On this one, I didn't see that. I didn't see any rifle in this one, but the guy driving is trying to push the lion out. The lion, you got to look this up. Lion jumps in, I don't know, it's a cart or something like that. But the lion comes up and just jumps inside of the Jeep, who has no windows, and is just like hanging out and like laying on the driver. And the driver's like trying to push the lion out of the Jeep. Dude, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. People are like, ah! There's a freaking lion, dude. Domesticated or not, this is an animal that can K-word you in 3 seconds. It's the craziest video I've ever seen. And he's trying to push it out of the Jeep. I don't know what the title is, but what a wild video.
Is there any chance we could watch it?
If you can find it.
That it's copyrighted.
Yeah.
If I have the right one at all, because it's from some news site.
Ricardo, Ricardo, the lion walks up and just hops in like a pet, like a dog, and he's just hanging on top of the guy, and it's this big ass lion, bro. That's scary as hell, man. Like, like, yo,
they got very sharp teeth.
Dude, I would take a crap in my pants, Ricardo. If I was 2 feet away from a lion, I'd probably shit my pants, bro. Like, get that thing away from me. Oh,
then the lion would smell you. That would just draw him to you more.
Yeah, the pheromones, right? Is it pheromones?
I don't. You asked the wrong person. I don't know about pheromones down there.
You could scare it away.
Yeah. It's a funny video, though, man, dude. People are like terrified, and the guy's like trying to push it. It's just funny. I mean, this guy probably weighs 160 pounds. This lion's probably 400 and something pounds. He's trying to push it. Like, dude, you're not going to win that pushing battle. The thing's like 4 times your size. People don't realize that the size of these animals, the majesticness of these animals. Like, if you ever seen a deer, like we hunt, right? You don't realize how big a deer is. And then if you get into like a moose or a reindeer or something like that, these things are 5 times your size. Like 5 times your, like, you think that we're big? You see this animal. If you see a bear, okay, I told you this a long time ago. We went to the Poconos every year for many, many years for like we went vacation. Poconos, right? This is back in the mid 80s. I'm like 10 years old. Dude, we opened up the blinds and there's a black bear in the backyard. And he's by the trash cans. The sheer size of this animal, looking at the size of this animal, if that animal wanted to come through that window, it'd be like this. He'd come right through the window and kill us all. That's how big these animals are. We think that we're big and badass. We're not. These animals are really who run the jungle.
I know. I saw him, like, I'd see him in the museums growing up, in the
unbelievable
museums, and they'd have the dead stuffed corpses of these scary, dangerous animals.
Dude, this freaking bear was so big, it scared the piss out of me. And luckily, he got whatever he was on the trash can, and he just walked away. He just left. You know? So, thank God.
Yeah. I've seen the little black bears hiking before. They have them up in the Smokies. They're all over the place. You just leave them alone.
We have small ones, Jeff.
Yeah,
in Pongo, we have the small ones.
Or brown ones, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that they climb the trees, they go up in the trees
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
walk
But
in the
this
middle
thing
of
was
the
like,
road, and the cars have to
yeah,
pause and let them cross. Yeah.
no, this thing was freaking huge. I was like, yo, and I remember my dad was like, just close the blinds, just close the blinds. And we just closed the blinds, and then he just left. He just walked away. Yeah. Shit, that was what? That was 1986. I think I was 11 years old. Yeah, I think I was like 11 years old. Dude, the Poconos was so awesome. We'd go to the Poconos. Check this out. We'd go to the Poconos. So we're from the city, right? We're from Queens. We're from New York. We're from Queens, right? We go to the Poconos, and they had something called Alvin's ATV Park. Now, what that is you could
So
rent
fun.
the three-wheel ATVs,
Yeah.
and it was a huge track. We look forward to that all year. We couldn't wait to get on those, those ATVs, just run around the track on it. Oh man, talk about great times, man.
Yeah. I
Talk
know.
about great times. And then also, all the Amish. We were fascinated with the Amish because all the Amish are up there in the Poconos, Pennsylvania area. You see the people; they're actually on the road in buggies with horses. It's the
No
craziest
ATVs for
thing.
them, huh?
No. Other than that, I'll stop. But yeah, it was such a great memory. I mean, we loved going up to Pennsylvania. It's such a really nice place. Go ahead, guys.
I've never been to America. It's always been
Me
my
neither,
dream.
sadly.
Lots of good hiking here. I'll tell you that.
Dolbez, I asked you this last time. I think you said yes. Have you actually ate reindeer before? Actually had it before?
Yeah. I've
Okay,
had
me too.
reindeer
Yeah.
tacos actually.
Mhm.
And it was delicious. Just minced meat of elk and reindeer.
Was it a baby reindeer?
No,
No, I'm just
no, no, no.
kidding.
Actually, hunted like vilt. You buy hunted meat. You don't. I suppose the Sami do it, but I've never seen it in the grocery store, so I don't know where they sell it. It's unproductive and
Yeah.
uneconomical either way. So I don't know what they do.
You can't buy it in
But
the States. How we ate it, me and my son had it in a French MRE. It was a French military ration. And it was reindeer and
Reindeer?
cranberry. Yeah, it was reindeer.
Stuff.
sure, that's
It
not
was
just reindeer
Oh.
flesh. Just like an
reindeer.
MRE is really
Yeah,
cost
because
efficient.
we got into MREs for a while. We were buying. We got the Italian. We got the Russian ones. The Russian ones are good. They're real. Actually, the Russian MREs are really good. But the French ones are like gourmet. But they actually had a reindeer one in the French MREs, and we got it. It took like a month to get it because you have to get them. You have to get them, and they have to send it and stuff like that. But American MREs you can get easily. You can go to the commissary and get them. But like
We used to take them camping with us.
yeah, they're good. Well, the American ones, Jeff, the American ones, they're really salty. They have a lot of sodium. They're super salty. But the best MREs I've ever had were the French and the Italian ones. The French and the Italian MREs are phenomenal. Like it tastes like you're going out to eat. That's how good it
International
is.
collection.
Yeah, that's how good it is. But no, I've actually had reindeer, and it was actually very good. It tasted like a mix of turkey and beef. I can't explain it. It was very savory. It was like a savory meat. Yeah.
What is fact check? Is this a person? Or
Yes,
a bot? What is?
they actually do have an MRE with
I've
reindeer. They
never
may be
seen this fact
discontinued.
check thing before.
Yeah. I think it was French. Was it a French one? It wasn't Italian. It was a French one. Yeah, it was a French one. It
Maybe
was
it was
reindeer.
Norwegian or Swedish, Swiss. Who else
Could
has
be.
reindeer?
I think it was French
Do they
though.
make
I think
MREs?
pretty sure it was a French MRE.
Greenland, I think.
Greenland.
Sure.
Pretty sure it was a French MRE.
That's
And they
actually the coldest
also
country north. Not Iceland. Iceland isn't
and they
that
are
cold.
yeah. They also had the French. I think they had an ostrich one too. I think it's that ostrich meat. I think it was in the
Ostrich
Are you
MRE.
sure
MRE.
that's
Did they
just
have any
not the
alligator
flavor?
one?
Like, are you
Alligator
sure that's not the
MRE?
flavor? Because aren't MREs supposed to be nutrient dense and cost efficient? Like, do you really think they source real reindeer meat for a French military
Yeah.
ration? Like, it sounds more
It's
like
so
they just had
good.
reindeer flavor. Because
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't know,
look it
man.
up. I'll look it up real quick. Because I could be wrong. It might have been a different country, but I was pretty sure it was a French MRE. I was pretty sure it was a French
No,
MRE,
I'm
but
not
I'll look
doubting
it up.
that. I'm doubting that it's real meat and not just the flavor reindeer. Because I cannot see a reality where reindeer flavor is economical to do, like as a ration, as a like that. That just feels very unmilitary-like, that they'd splurge like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't eaten MREs, so maybe they do source reindeer meat.
Holy crap! You're right. It was a Norwegian one. It was the with the green package. It was a Norwegian MRE. That's what it was. It was. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at what I bought. I'm looking at my. All right.
So it
Field
makes sense
meal reindeer stew. Yeah, reindeer stew.
that that the country that has reindeer makes reindeer MREs instead of a country that doesn't
Yeah,
have reindeer.
I'm looking at my account
I
right
told you
now.
it was the Sami.
Yeah. What was the French
Yeah,
one? The
look.
French one was something else. The
Arctic
French one
field
was so
ration.
yeah, Norwegian.
Ooh, wait, hang on.
Yeah, yeah, it was a Norwegian
That is.
MRE. I apologize. I thought it was the French. I thought it was the French one because we got a whole bunch of MREs, but I thought it was the French one. But it was the Norwegian one. It came in a. I'm looking at the package. It came in a green pouch. Yep.
Yeah, they're right
I'm
here.
looking at it right now.
Oh, it's YouTube. It's not photos.
Yeah, it came in a green pouch.
Green pouch.
It's rare
And
MRE.
Oh my god.
it's a stew.
Oh,
It was a 2016 Norwegian Arctic 2016 Arctic Norwegian field ration reindeer casserole game stew is what it was, and I bought it, and it was $44.99. That's how expensive they are. Almost $50. Yeah,
50
Yeah, well,
bucks for the reindeer
paid
yeah,
MRE.
$44.99. That's how much it was. Yeah,
You know what kind of dinner you
it's
could have had for that?
this was something that me and my son got into. He loved the foreign food. It's like something that me and him would like, like a treat. But it said alongside Scandinavian favorites such as reindeer and cod in creamy sauce.
Ugh.
Mm.
I mean,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that,
Market.
and I can tell you, I think the Finns also have a reindeer MRE. The Finns have it as well. Yeah. But it's neat. But I have had it, and it was very good. It was very good. Yeah, it is what it is. And there was a place called not Fat Burger. What is that place called? Fuddruckers. It's called Fuddruckers.
Yeah, I know Fuddruckers.
And they have an ostrich burger, ostrich meat. I don't know if they still have it. I can look it up, but they had an ostrich burger the last time, and I never got it. My son got it, and he loved it.
Do you know what? I'd actually be up for trying that. That sounds good.
Yeah, let me see.
I prefer eating birds. I love chicken. And
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. It says Fuddruckers in Virginia Beach still has ostrich burgers. Still has them. I'm looking at it right now.
Can they export them to the UK?
Yeah.
Is it America great?
Yep. And then
Fried chicken.
Fuddruckers has ostrich burgers, and my son was like, "This is so good, Dad." Yeah, it was good. I didn't bite it because I was like, I saw an ostrich, a picture of it. I'm like, I'm not going to eat this. But he's like, this burger is good. Yeah. And then they also have, the one thing I do love is I love bison burgers, the bison meat.
Oh, I love bison burgers.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah.
It must be quite similar to a cow.
People bond over food and talking about food. This is completely normal.
These are all things I've never tried, so
chirp, all of you chirpers out there.
It's pretty cool. Ricardo, it's pretty cool that we have a super Walmart not too far from here, and they actually sell ground bison. And
Walmart is selling it now. We had to get it at Whole Foods.
Yeah, Whole Foods, man. If you get any kind of meat at Whole Foods, if you get like any kind of beef or chicken, the quality is so much higher at Whole Foods. Yeah. I mean, people always talk about how expensive it is, and it is expensive. But it's hoity-toity. Dude, it's so good. It's so freaking good.
I mean, it's okay. Some of it is. It's
the quality.
Well, I better. In case they want a sponsorship, I better
Jeff,
Unsafe.
and they have Jeff. Remember, they have like a honey. They have like a honey bar. Like you can get honey. You can get fresh honey
It's
in
been
like a
so long
jar.
since I've went into Whole Foods. I
Oh
remember
my
the smell more
god!
than anything else.
It's like a museum of food. It's like you can't walk in unless you're rich. Like that's how expensive that place is.
It started in Austin, Texas, and I went to the
Yeah.
original Whole Foods when I lived there. It was like this almost hole in the wall little market.
When I changed my diet, and I was back. This is years ago when I was doing more of like cardio and working out. I got into a lot of like nuts, like cashews and
Oh
peanuts, stuff
yeah,
like
I
that.
love nuts.
Dude, when you go to Whole Foods, when you go to Whole Foods, they have the best selection
Of
of
nuts.
nuts. Yeah, unbelievable, unbelievable. And and they're like in a little cylinder, and you like little thing, and and it goes into like a
They
little
have that in the
bag.
grocery store now,
Yeah.
but probably not as fancy as the Whole Foods version.
Jeff, how about going when we were younger? How about going to the supermarket and taking whole beans? Remember the aisle with the coffee aisle? You could grind the beans into a
Oh
bag.
yeah, they have the
Yeah,
grinder in the aisle. You just run the
yeah.
beans through it.
And then the whole aisle smells like heaven. Like smelling that coffee is like I don't
Sometimes
know what.
that's how I remember to get coffee because I'll be walking by the
Yeah,
aisle and I'll smell it. I'll be like, "Oh right, I'm supposed to pick up coffee."
I don't know what's better, the smell of cut grass or the smell of coffee. I mean, that's probably two most amazing
Mr.
smells
Sketch
ever.
Markers.
Yeah,
Ooh, I could go for some
Wet
good cut grass
asphalt.
right now.
they're
What?
both good.
Wet
How about both
asphalt.
together?
The smell of
Wait, one
spring.
more time. One more time, Dobes.
That's wet asphalt. The smell it makes, the first rain of spring. That's a
I'm
petrichor.
still
That
hearing
smell is
something completely different than what you're saying, and I wanna
wet asphalt, like the road,
asphalt.
pavement.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, I
like
know what you mean now, and it kind of has that oily
There's a
smell.
fault with your eye.
petrichor it's so good of a
Oh,
smell. It's just a smell of spring, smell of rejuvenation and
It's
revival.
Well, Dobez, it's very much like smelling gasoline. Some people love the smell. I love the smell of gasoline, and some people don't like the smell of gasoline.
Mm.
Like when you smell like freshly pumped gasoline. It's. I can't explain that. It's like an addictive smell. It is. You like the smell of gasoline?
Yeah,
No.
but
I could take it or
it's a
leave
bit
it.
sickening that. But like when they've just laid the fresh tarmac down on the road, and it's
Yeah.
and it's summer, and the sun's beating down on it, and it just gives off this kind of sweet kind of, I don't know, just like chemically but sweet smell, and it just takes me back to my youth.
Ricardo, should we drop some napalm in Dolbez's yard? If we drop like a napalm bomb in Dolbez's yard, just what do you think?
Nobody's dropping bombs on people's yards here.
Napalm,
No,
because it's gasoline and orange. That's the smell. Yeah.
Oh,
well, you love
Yeah.
this. You love the smell of napalm in the morning.
That's it. One day this war is going to end, and he just gets up and walks away. That is one of the greatest. That is one of the greatest.
Vietnam.
Let me tell you something. People talk about The Godfather. People talk about all these famous movies. Robert Duvall in Apocalypse Now, in that scene with the bombs going off, and he's just sitting there. He goes, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." He goes, "It smells like victory."
ass.
I mean,
Wet ass.
holy crap, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can.
I mean, that was a master class in acting, and he goes, "Someday this war's going to end." He just gets up and walks off. In other words, that's the broken soldier. In other words, at one point, we're not going to have anyone to shoot anymore. Like in other words, everything's going to change. And I think a lot of soldiers, which I've never been, but a lot of soldiers who I very much admire, once they're in combat and they leave it, they're looking for more combat after the war's over, and I think it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, and I think they end up here. Same with the prison people.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle, and it's hard because when you put a human being in those circumstances, and that's why I love veterans so much, because they give everything for us. They gave their psyche, they gave their body, they gave their mind for us. Because once you're in that kind of situation, you're changed forever, forever. But I could just say this: that scene, I could watch that scene over and over again. Remember when he was trying to get the guy to surf where they're shooting bombs in the lake, Ricardo? Like the lake's blowing up and he's trying to get the guy to surf and it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Holy crap. And shout out to
You
Martin
reminded me
Sheen.
of a great movie I need to rewatch, man. I really
Oh
need
my
to see that
God.
Apocalypse Now again.
I'm gonna leave now, boys.
Anybody else is welcome to jump in and share their
Well, cool,
thoughts. I
Dobbs.
mean, we're all adults, but
Great
what
Night,
I
to
boys.
notice happening over
great
and
to see you
over
again,
is when
man.
Mike stops talking, nobody else
Stay
has
awesome.
anything else to say.
Yeah. But that's a great movie. And I think another great movie is the 4th of July with Tom Cruise. It just
Oh,
shows,
Born on the 4th of July. I forgot about
4th of
that.
July.
Yeah.
Okay.
it
Heard of
shows it shows us, because we don't understand this because we
He
didn't
doesn't have
serve
to
it.
shut up. This is a conversation channel. He's up here talking and having a conversation. And if other people want to talk, they could do so.
Oh, you're getting trolled from the chat again, Mike. Fucking hell.
It's-
I
What
don't
are
know
they
where they're
like?
But
complaining. Well, then go to another channel if it's killing your vibe. It's not killing mine, and it's my channel. So I don't. You're the one trying to manipulate me. Go ahead, Mike. Continue with your
But
story.
the whole point of what I'm saying is, oh, you're good. The whole point is what I'm saying is it shows how much veterans give for us, how much they give for us.
I have a
And
high respect for veterans.
yeah.
Same with cops.
And this is the thing. When they leave the service, they never really leave. They're still living that, for the rest of their lives. So if you know a veteran, just be there for them. Because if they need you, be there, because
Because
they
they
stood
were
up
there
for
for
us.
you.
They stood up for us. They gave it, because they would have passed away for us. It's just, now, are there veterans that never seen combat? Yes, there are. There are veterans that never seen combat. There are.
Dude,
But they're
Mike,
still, they still like
I've seen veterans out
made
on
the
the street.
commitment to be.
They're not
Yeah.
they're not being looked after. They're homeless. They're in a terrible state. They've got PTSD, whatever.
Yeah.
I met this one guy who had these memories. These things he couldn't even talk about, because every time he tried, I tried to get him to open up a little bit, and he just started crying and breaking
Yeah.
down. I was like, this is just fucking, this is happening to people across the country and probably across the world. But
Mhm.
yeah, so why don't soldiers get treated better after they've outlived their usefulness? They just seem to get thrown away. A lot of them.
Well,
Very true.
I see them get
Very
treated
true.
pretty well. There's all these veterans perks, at least
It's
here in
not
the
right.
U.S. that you get.
Yeah, there are a few organizations, but obviously maybe not everyone can get in they've got addictions, or they're
Well, that's
alcoholics or
different than
whatever.
just being a veteran, though. They're not getting treated a certain way because of their veteran status. It's because of their addiction.
Possibly. I'm just guessing, but some people just slip through the net, and those people are, they often stay around for a long time on the edges of on the fringes of society.
I think
Yeah.
that's a choice.
Until
that's another.
until they're needed again, maybe in some
I
capacity.
think that's a big problem, I think, with the veterans, especially combat veterans. Let's just say combat veterans,
Yeah.
they self-medicate with either alcohol, but I think the biggest problem, I was watching a lot of documentaries, like in Vietnam, coming back, it was heroin. They were self-medicating to run from what they had to do, because that was a really bloody, nasty war. It was.
Sure.
Korea was a horrible war. World War II was terrible, but it seems like World War II, we were different back then. I can't say that we were better. Men were more men, but I know a lot of veterans of World War II, they could cope better when they came back home. Not all, but most. But it seems like Vietnam, in Korea and Vietnam, a lot of the vets, they really got hooked on drugs and stuff.
They
and
must
it's
have
really.
seen. They must have seen some terrible things.
Yep, that's it.
To their, happen to their friends and their comrades and whoever, even civilians.
Just imagine serving with somebody, and this person is basically your brother, and watching them get keyboarded right in front of you. That's got to put such an imprint in your mind for the rest of your life. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to miss this person. This is your
Does.
family member.
That's
Yeah,
what started my PTSD.
yeah, you're right. You know, and you can't put these people down. But the problem is that people can either try to get help, or people will also self-medicate. So it's up to the person to try to find their way to cope with it.
And
It's a coping
you
mechanism.
have to know what it is and that you have it and that there's
Yeah.
help for it. Because a lot of
Mhm.
times they know they're different, but they don't know why or what's going on with them. So
Mhm.
even learning about what you have is a key first step. But then if there's nobody around you to help you do that, you're kind of just lost trying to
Mhm.
find your way in a fog for a while.
Yeah.
And so that could lead you to all kind of other solutions except like other than healthy ones.
You know, and there are so many people, Jeff. There are so many people out there like yourself, or even me. Like I'm no therapist, but I'm saying if someone needed to talk to me, I would sit there and talk to them. But there are people out there that are willing to
I believe that.
help people throughout their struggles. But a lot of the times, is people don't ask for it. They don't seek the help. They
Yeah.
think that they're weak if they ask for help. But you're
That's why I'm
actually,
glad you opened up last night. I think it was
yeah,
good for people to see that
yeah.
it's okay to do that.
When you open up, you're stronger. You're not weaker. You're actually stronger because you're letting yourself be known. You know, and it's funny because
You gotta open up to the right people, though.
yeah. I mean, Jeff, I'm actually a loving person. I mean, unfortunately, you know, I get clouded online, but this is an act. But like in real life, I'm not like
Why
this.
would a loving person just act this way? Like say, let me make up this YouTube persona that's so abrasive and obnoxious.
I can't explain it
Why would a nice, loving person want to do something like that?
because Jeff, you created it. You created me, Jeff. I'm your Frankenstein.
Dude,
That's
you were this way. You were this when you showed up.
But we can pivot, Jeff. We can pivot into something
Well, I
else.
want to pivot to this comment as soon as I find
Sure,
it.
sure, no problem. We can pivot.
Hang on.
Hmm. And I have mercy on people. I try not to get too crazy.
Wow, this is you hold it back.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this one. We come from for your convos, not Mike's. Tommy M, all I'm going to tell you, then explain to me why when it's my convos, the numbers are here, but when Mike comes on, the numbers shoot up to here. If they're coming from my convos, wouldn't the numbers be higher when it's just my convos and not Mike's? So that's
It's
the
gonna,
only
yeah,
question I have around that.
it'll be a circle jerk answer. Yeah, Tommy M's a hater. That's all it is. Tommy M's a hater. Tommy M is actually someone from
I mean,
Vegas
it's
Valley.
just
Someone from Vegas
they
Valley.
say one thing, and I'm not saying he's
Yeah.
lying. Like he might really be here from, but the numbers say a different thing.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, at the end of the day, the one thing is factual. This is an entertainment channel. You're here to entertain people and educate. Education and entertainment, right? It's both. It's dually education and entertainment. It's both.
Mostly entertainment channel is how I.
Yes, yeah, but you also flip into educational mode too. You also will start talking about very relative things in the world, and yeah. But the thing is that when I come up, like I'll pop in when it starts to get lackluster. I'll pop in real quick. I'll pop in real quick when it gets lackluster. It's not your fault. It's just maybe someone's talking about something that's getting boring, and I'll pop in real quick and pivot it to something else. You know, and Moose does the same thing. Moose will pop in out of nowhere and he'll pivot the whole conversation. Yeah. It's not disrespect. It's just changing the direction of the channel. That's
Right,
all.
but it's kind of You're like hopping on somebody else's channel and taking over the production. Here we have another guest. Some of you may remember from the other night,
These birds are everywhere.
Mr. J.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up?
Another day in paradise, man. We're just living the good life. Broke as hell. What are you laughing at? He's already giggling. Ain't even said nothing.
Yeah, Mike, this is a perfect
No,
example.
dude, I love this guy. This guy's awesome. I love this guy.
Is this that son of a bitch who gave me a whole harassment video talking about nonsense? I remember you. Hey, I like you
Oh, I
too,
thought y'all
bro.
knew each other before. Like,
No,
I
no,
didn't
No,
know y'all
dude,
were
I
like
never
getting
met him before in
reacquainted.
my life. he did like an hour and a half on like fuck you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know you.
Yeah,
He
So
thought I
Lou,
was like
he
some
does. That
Mexican
happens though.
from
He gets mistaken
fucking
sometimes.
Detroit or
yeah,
something.
yeah, complete. So
It's happened with other people.
Lou Dog was actually Sublime's dog. I love Sublime. I actually saw
Who's
them in concert.
Sublime? Oh,
Sublime was one
the
of the
band.
greatest band ever. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, good. Dude, yeah, it was a great band. I agree. It was good music. I just didn't know why you fucking why would you compare me to that? I
Well,
thought we were on
your thing
something on
says
that
Lou
level.
Dog, and Lou Dog was Bradley. Bradley was the lead singer of Sublime. That was his dog, Lou Dog. It was a Dalmatian.
Yeah, Lou Dog is actually a Cottonmouth King's name of the drummer, but we can go with the Dalmatian. That's fine.
Do you
Hi,
ever
Lou.
like?
Hi,
You ever
Lou
call
Dog.
in like? You
What's
ever
up?
call people at night and be Corey Feldman on the phone? You sound, dude. You sound just like
Well,
Corey
we're off
Feldman.
to
I
a good
I'm
start,
here.
swear to God.
Horrible.
just like last time.
No, I'm
Who the
telling
hell
you,
is
dude.
Corey
You
Feldman?
sound just like Corey Feldman. I swear to God, dude. Holy crap, dude. It's,
Holy crap! You swear to God and holy crap! We got a
were
lot
you
going
were
on
you a
here.
ninja? Were you actually a Ninja Turtle
Am
in
I
the
a
movie?
ninja? Oh, I thought you were saying something else. No, I was never a Ninja Turtle. I, I
Maybe a
really
Power
thought you were
Ranger.
going somewhere else with that.
Got it. Lou, did you see me on the floor feeding cats yesterday? It was great. What a great time.
It
Were
really
you like
was.
drunk, stumbling like an
But to
idiot,
hear it out
fucking
loud,
feeding cats
No,
on the floor?
no, I'm never, Lou. I'm never drunk, dude. No, never stumbling. I'm never drunk. No.
Mm.
no, it's
Well,
just
I
kind
don't
of a
know why you were on
touching,
the floor.
Well,
You
that's
could
the
have just
big,
like
tender.
walked
yeah,
up
that's
and
the
been
big
like,
rumor I
"Here,
hear about you,
have some
He
Mike,
was
cat
on the
dude.
food."
ground, on the
That you're
ground.
this secret,
I was hanging with
secret
cats,
thinker.
dude. Lou, don't hate on the cats, dude. Don't hate on the wild cats, man.
I'm
They're
not worried
people.
about your
They're people.
wild cat.
Lou, cats are people too, dude. Don't hate on the cats, man.
I've never
Don't.
No,
They're
seen
I'm
not
one,
never
Mike.
people.
gonna. I'm never gonna expose the kittens as human beings. You're out of your mind.
So you think a cat is
That was
lower?
double entendre. If you're not a fool.
So Lou, have you
Feeling
ever put
hot,
peanut butter
hot,
on your?
hot.
Never mind.
Oh, you ever put peanut butter on your cock and seen
Feeling
if a
hot,
dog would
hot,
lick it?
hot.
You faggot. What's wrong with you, dude? What's going on?
See, I said put peanut butter on your, and I stopped.
I
And
knew what you were
you
saying though.
continued. I know, because you've done it. I haven't.
I actually haven't tried that technique because I have greater access to the female species than you,
Never had
apparently.
to
Is that what it is? Is that what? Oh,
resort to the
I didn't
peanut
know.
butter.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know. I didn't know if
Peanut
that
butter
was.
is for losers, don't you know?
Yeah, I
Don't you
know.
It's
know?
for
I mean,
What's your
what? You
incels.
favorite?
like Hawaiian
What's your
pizza as
favorite?
well, you
What is your
fag?
favorite? Hey, Lou, Cowabunga. What is your favorite peanut butter? Your favorite peanut butter?
Calabunga. Who the fuck is
Yeah,
Calabunga, Holmes?
Cowabunga.
Teenage
Is that your
Mutant
new
Ninja
word for me?
Turtles, dude. Don't you remember?
Cowabunga, dude. Was that their thing?
That's it.
That was.
Yeah, it's
That was their
Cowabunga.
catchphrase.
See, I even absorbed it somehow.
Cowabunga, dude.
Jesus is
You're like
my friend, dude. What are we talking about?
surfer, surfer turtles or something.
Well,
Must be
I'm
from
glad you're
California.
not playing with peanut butter and dogs. I mean, that's a good start for a grown ass man to not be doing that.
Right.
Good job.
Sure, that's awesome. So,
I'm a crunchy man myself.
Jeff. So Lou,
Crunch every time.
what is your favorite drink? Is it bourbon? Is it tequila? What do you like to drink?
Leading the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. This guy's
Sustained.
over here coming up with bullshit. Remember the last guy I talked to? Oh, it's the same fucking asshole.
Yeah, he
He
said you
thought
were
I was
he
drunk the
called you a
entire
dirty
fucking
Mexican and
episode.
said you were doing luchador
He just
flips in the
he
corner.
just kept saying dumb shit. He called me a Mexican from
Well,
fucking
let me
East
ask you this.
Asia,
Let me
whatever
be
the hell.
honest. Be
Yeah.
honest. Lou, be honest. After I said that to you, did you start watching old WWE videos of like Rey Mysterio? Did you start like
No.
watching
Why
videos?
the fuck would I waste my time watching Rey Mysterio in his
his
fucking
moves.
underwear.
Did you go out? Did you go out and get like a luchador mask? Do you wear it like when you walk down the street, like Vinny
Dude, I
Pots and
mean,
Pans?
how gay are these fucking professional athletes to get so ripped, and then they're like walking out in g-strings, and we're like,
Drag.
Jeff,
no one's even acknowledging, hey, I can see both ass cheeks, and his balls are bulging out of the butt.
Oh, I'm
Like, what
sure
are we
there are
Can
doing?
we
people.
see,
People I know
Jeff?
would
Can
be
we get
acknowledging.
some pictures of that, please? I haven't
Yeah,
seen
who
that
do I
myself,
look
so
up?
I'd quite like to review,
All
review the
go back to
evidence.
the WWF before WWE. It was
Jeff,
it was crazy.
For our pleasure.
Jeff, you are now known as the drunk whisperer. The drunk whisperer. That's what you
Who
are.
the
It's
hell
the
is
skill
Jeff?
set.
This guy be changing people's names left and right and saying he's sober.
I'm not changing anyone's names. I'm not sure what you're
All right, what
talking
do I look
about.
at?
You called me Rey
WWF?
Mysterio. You called me a Mexican. You said all kinds of horse's ass.
But then you started speaking in Spanish.
Yeah, yeah. Hablo español, amigo. Está bien. No hay
Yeah.
problema. Yeah,
So
yeah. I
you're
speak
Spanish.
Spanish.
You are Spanish, right?
Just
Lou,
because I
you're
speak
Spanish.
Spanish doesn't mean I'm fucking Rey Mysterio.
What?
Like, what the
Yep,
fuck are you
yep,
talking
yep.
about?
Hasta la
All right,
vista,
so Lou, have you ever
baby.
done a moonsault off the top rope? Just a moonsault off the top rope.
Absolutely not, dude. I'm not fucking. I'm not breaking my back on that bullshit.
Lou, in your prime, do you think you could have beaten Hulk Hogan in your prime?
Of course, he's racist. We could all beat his ass with our
Did you
He's
say
a
cheeks
he's
tough
touching.
racist?
man.
No,
He's a tough.
I love Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
He got in trouble for saying the N word. I'm like, yeah,
Oh, I
everybody
didn't know
said the
that.
fucking N
That's
word.
the
Get over it.
impression I got.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's correlated with how much somebody could beat your ass or not.
This is so bad, dude. This is Jeff. This
No,
is so
don't you
bad.
remember when like Dog the Bounty Hunter had the exact same problem? I guess the daughter wanted to date a black guy, and he's like, "Oh, we're not having no
Wait,
mother effing N word in this house."
Oh, dog.
The
And I was,
bounty
What?
hunter.
Is he Canadian?
No,
Oh,
he's what he's originally from the Midwest, but they ended up living in Hawaii,
poor thing.
yeah,
Oh,
out of Hawaii.
yeah.
they
That's
That's
were
why he's
in
always
that
like,
was
Denver. They
even
were
before the
Denver.
woke
yeah, he's
explosion.
always like Mahala, Mahala, bro, Mahala. They lived on
He
Kauai, I
literally
think it was
gave a big
Kauai.
fucking dude. This son of a bitch gave a press conference tour across the country saying, "I'm so sorry for saying the N word. I can't believe I did. I thought I was allowed to because I went to prison for murdering someone, and that's how we talked with the brothers." And then
Yeah.
he's like, "I even want to be buried with the brothers. Let's get me a gravesite next to the N words that I'm trashing."
So
It was like,
dog
what the fuck are you doing? Get off the internet, stupid.
Dog the Bounty Hunter Dog the Bounty Hunter went actually into Mexico to capture somebody, but he wasn't allowed. He wasn't cleared to go in, and he actually went to jail for that because he entered Mexico to retrieve a fugitive, but he didn't have clearance from the Mexican government. He actually went
Well,
to
of
jail
course.
for that.
And by the
Yeah.
way, we all actually respect that service. Someone who will break the law to take down a criminal. There's something special about the irony there.
I don't think it's that special. I think they're criminals.
Oh, you're gonna break the law to fucking catch a criminal?
Yeah,
Well,
he
fuck,
made a
dude.
lot
We're
of
all screwed.
well,
yeah. Did the end?
it's funny because Dog the Bounty Hunter,
Did the end
he
justify
was
the means?
Dog the
Yeah.
Bounty Hunter. He came out of jail broke. Came out of jail broke, and
Sometimes
now
they do.
he's a multi-millionaire. So hey, I can't knock the guy's hustle. The guy's a multi-millionaire.
Well,
And
yeah. I mean, if you look at the show, I mean, it's for silly geese, dum dums. But I love the bounty hunter dog myself personally. But he certainly has some wild tendencies.
sure, his sons, and but the thing is that his wife Beth, she passed
Why do
away. God
you
rest her
think his
soul.
son Leland lives on a different fucking island and
I hear you.
doesn't?
I hear you.
He doesn't
But
even tell them the schedule. Nothing. He's like, "Yo, yeah, we're fan, but like,
yeah.
I'll just go live over here. You guys fucking leave me alone."
But his wife Beth, she passed away. She passed away from breast cancer. But his
I
wife
know.
passed away,
I watched that. It was
and
a beautiful
but
video. I
but
seen it.
she was the one that got him started because I guess apparently allegedly she comes from money, so she was able to get him started in the bond business. But she was really
If
cool.
you look back
My
on the age difference and
yeah,
then try not to be a wise ass,
yeah.
there's clearly a that's not right. If
But
you
she
actually look at the age they met, what
yeah.
age each one was, it's okay. What the fuck is this shit?
But she seemed like a really cool chick. She just seemed like a really cool ass chick, man. And this is my opinion. She just seemed
No,
really
no,
down to earth
I
and
always
really
love
cool.
Beth.
Yeah, it's real.
Everyone
And
needs
then,
a
but the problem is that this is the
ginormous
problem though.
titty fucking high heel wearing lady.
Yeah, Lou Dog. This is the problem though. Is like the only problem I have with Dog is that she passed away and he remarried in like a few months or something like that. He like remarried like right away, and it was
I,
like it was
I'll
like
tell you why
it
I'm
was
not
one of
mad
her
about that.
it was one of her friends. It's like
Yeah,
that's
and I'll
just
tell I'll
weird.
tell you why I'm not mad at. I do think that being a friend of hers is kind of wild, but
Yeah,
also it's like there's someone you can spend the rest of your life with who will understand the pain you're going through.
sure. Well,
But
I
yes,
mean,
there is something wild about like, yeah, my wife died. I'm fucking her friend a month later. I get it. Yeah, it's like what the hell.
yeah. Everybody grieves differently. Everybody grieves differently. Sometimes people will gravitate towards people to grieve to heal. But I'm just saying, if it was me personally, the love of my life, if that was his love of his life, it would take me many years to get over that. But he was remarried very quick.
No, I
It
don't.
was shocking.
I think honestly, I don't know if you're being honest or not, but genuinely speaking, as someone who's been divorced, uh, if someone else were to have showed up at that time when I was going through it, I probably would have been like, "Oh, please, let's be together," because this loneliness is fucking killing me inside. Just saying. I'm not supporting his actions. I'm just saying that it, it's not fucking crazy for someone to have a dead loved one to want to have companionship.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, and like I said,
We all crave it. We all crave
Ricardo
it.
to kind of put credence to what you're saying, and Lou, like everyone's how do I say this? Everyone's going back to a relationship again. So in other words, when I divorced, I have no problems sharing my life. When I divorced, we were
Well,
together
don't say
11.
too much, but just say what you got to say to share your story. You
Yeah,
don't need to.
we were together for 11 years, and then I met somebody about a year later, and we were together. But I couldn't let go of my ex. I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't fully ready yet.
Yeah.
And then that's all it was. So I did her and myself a disservice by getting in a relationship where I wasn't ready to get into a relationship. And it's one of my mistakes, because she was awesome, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't healed yet. So everyone's healing is different. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
May I
You
ask? I
couldn't be
totally
you
agree
couldn't
with
be
you, bro.
emotionally you
Oh,
couldn't be
my bad.
emotionally available, right?
Let me ask one question because nothing you
You
said
need
is
to be.
wrong. I do believe some folks go into relationships thinking the other person is their entire life. And other folks go into the relationship saying, I'm going to share my life with you. And it really is a big difference if one of you thinks the other person is your whole life, and then the other person thinks, I'm just like bringing you along for the ride.
Hmm.
And if that's not discussed beforehand, it's already fucking game over. It's the inevitable disaster and heartbreak.
And the biggest thing is that as men, we're predatorial. We want to replace that hurt with someone else. We
Wait,
want to.
hold on. Did you just say predatorial?
Yeah, we want
Predatory.
we're predators.
I'm
We
pretty
want.
sure that's not the word you're looking for.
Yeah,
No, no,
we
no,
want
no.
to
We're not
replace.
predatory. That's like some rapist shit. No, no, no. That's the
There's
wrong
no
word.
rape. There's no rape
No,
there.
no, no.
Seems a bit inappropriate.
You
What
mean
did I walk back
territorial?
into?
Territorial.
Territorial.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Sure,
think that's what he meant.
Predatorial is
Yeah.
the
sure.
wrong fucking
Yeah.
word, dude.
We are territorial with women. Their
But
arse.
the whole thing is, I think a lot of men will jump
Not
to
much
another.
sharing.
For real. Good hell.
Excuse me. A lot of men will jump to another relationship before they're ready to actually fully commit, to
Not
fully be
me.
ready to give their whole heart. And I think it happens.
Not me. I think I must give off the vibe that, I'm still healing. I'm still hurting from my past relationship. So, women don't,
So do
get
you
too
attract the
close.
rescuers?
I think they can tell. Me?
Yeah,
Oh God, that's
like
I'm
the
amazing.
not
ones that
sure.
see like a broken bird
I like to
or a
think of
wounded
myself
child
as
that they
the
can heal and put
myself as
back
the
together.
rescuer.
Oh,
Are you
well, you're the
Chinese,
broken one.
Ricardo?
Sorry?
Oh, I'm
I'm not,
looking at your symbol there, the yin yang.
yeah,
I asked if
yeah.
you're Chinese or
No, I'm not
or
Chinese, but
Buddhist or anything.
I'm in Dao. I'm an English
Taoist.
Dao. Yeah,
How
yeah.
did
I like
you
Taoism.
stumble into that religion? Or you're like a Westerner, right?
Yeah, I'm English, but I read this.
That's
I've
hardly a
read a few
Westerner, but
books.
okay.
I've read a few books by an English guy who has been to China and traveled around the East, and just really got me into it, like meditation.
Have you heard of it?
Um,
There's a badass book. They even have a TV
Tai Chi.
series. If you like it in Chinese, it's
Hmm.
called The Red. Oh, son of a cunt! Hold on. It's the red mother freaking. I can't look it up because if I look it up, I'll get kicked off panel.
Sorry, that's
Type
the first
in
time I've ever.
Chinese book. It's because it has three different names because of the
Is it the
different.
Red Book?
No, there's like three different translations. It's the Red Dragon, some shit. I can't remember, but that's a really awesome show. The subtitles are awful because the guy will talk for like 6 minutes and there's like one sentence, and then the guy
Hmm.
will say one word and there's nine. So it's a little confusing. But if you actually like Chinese culture and everything, you should.
Yeah, yeah,
I love Chinese
It's the
food.
Red Dream. The
It's
definitely.
Red
culture.
Dream. It's very beautiful. Like
I'm gonna
I
check it
love
out.
it personally.
I bet it's got some
Somebody Google it.
poetry in it.
Who has a different device?
Is there poetry in it?
I all I came up with was Carl Jung's Red Book.
No. It's not the Red Book. I don't.
Mm.
That's no. That's hold on.
Has it been
It's
translated from Mandarin or something?
yeah.
What's
That's why no one knows how to fucking read
what's
it.
what's the best book you've ever read? The best book you've ever read in your life?
Easily Fyodor Dostoevsky. Without question, Brothers Karamazov.
I would say
Ricardo.
mine was William Burroughs, um, Naked
Okay, well,
Lunch.
this one
You read
says
that?
Dream of the Red Chamber. The problem
Okay.
is there's too many damn books with the same ass name. They're all
Yeah.
portraying the same story, though. Dream of the Red.
Mhm.
Give me a break. Come
Who
on.
who wrote it? Who's the author?
Uh, I'll tell you in a second. The second I find the actual one, because I want to
Yeah,
give the correct one.
sure.
Yeah. Mine, believe it or not, it's more of a simplistic book, but because I love the man so much, was Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. An amazing book.
Anthony Bourdain, huh? That's the fucking. That's number one. All
That's
Well,
my
hey,
favorite.
let it
That's my
let
right,
the man
favorite
read the
hey,
book.
no
book.
disrespect. I love it.
That
Let's hear
sounded
it.
like
Let's hear about it.
disrespect.
No,
Yeah.
let's hear about it.
Wait, so I've always wanted to be a chef. I've always wanted to be a chef, maybe in the next life. But he basically just the underbelly of being a chef and the restaurant business.
Oh my
I
God! Can I
found I
just
found the
pause you
book.
for 1 second? When
I
you
found the
said the
book.
underbelly,
If I can finish, I found the book so fascinating. An inside look at the way kitchens work and the way chef works and stuff like that. It's interesting.
Sounds good.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah. Well, we were watching Gordon Ramsay. What was he doing? Fucking just shit talking chefs in their kitchens this morning, and I guess he made a difference, but I'm like, all right, jackass. But no, when you said the underbelly, I looked up the Dream of the Red Chamber here, and it's a woman with a obviously pregnant belly, and it never occurred to me to refer to a Chinese woman as a red chamber.
Oh no, me neither.
Red
I
chamber.
don't I mean people say yellow. I never heard red chamber. That's a fucking new one to me. Holy smokes.
It's more red inside, I guess.
Uh,
Mm.
I guess it just depends on how your mind works, but I was like the red chamber, and this guy's talking about the underbelly, and then I see her fucking fat, beautiful stomach, and I'm like, oh my lord.
Well, the whole thing, the whole paradigm is that if you really enjoy something, like I enjoy cooking, I find cooking, I find cuisine fascinating. And
Me too.
Anthony Bourdain was
Oh,
such an interesting character. He was such an
I love to
enigmatic
cook.
character. He was everything. He was
You
captivating,
you should
and so
check out. Sorry,
his
Chris.
book was amazing. His it was an amazing book.
What is it?
Anthony
I even have
Bourdain.
it on digital. I have the
What's it
digital
called?
book as well. Kitchen Confidential. It was a bestseller
Kitchen
on New York Times.
confidential.
Bestseller.
Okay,
All right, let me
here we
write
go.
that down because I want to
Look
remember it.
out for it.
There's something I want you to check out, though. You may not like it. You might like it. There's a comedy podcast called Flagrant. It used to be called Flagrant 2. They recently had an interview with like a New York. He has like a dope Italian shop. I think you'd actually really enjoy it if you're really into cuisine.
Mm.
And I'd love to hear your take on it because he's a part of the Michelin star. Not a lot of people get on that list, but son of a bitch, what's his
This is
name?
a whole new sector.
Maybe check it out real quick, and if you really are into that scene, I guarantee you'd like it.
Is he British?
Helena, what happened with the cat last night? We got left in suspense.
Hey, Helena. How's it
Helena,
going? Nice to see you.
Helena, part of our world. Helena, how you doing, girl? I'm just fucking around, y'all. Chill out.
Hello from the other side.
He's like
Hello
Bradley
from
Light.
the other side.
Mm.
Yeah.
That was good. Who I heard a female.
Oh,
That was
I
him.
think that was Adele.
Oh, okay. Whoever did, that was very good. But now we have the real thing.
It's the Helena.
Hey,
What's
hey, it's
cracking,
Helena
baby
Sealing.
girl?
Hi,
Hello.
Helena Sealing.
We're just
Hello.
looking at the fan. Hello, beautiful.
Hey,
How are you?
how's it going?
I'm fine. How are you?
Don't ask me twice. I'm doing tremendously better now that you're here. Been dealing with these
Oh.
blokes.
What
Well,
happened with the cat?
my niece walked
What
in
the
with the
fuck?
cat. She walked in with the cat, and when I looked at it, I'm like, "That's the neighbor's cat." And I said, I can't say her name. Okay, I said, "Niece, okay, that's the neighbor's cat. What are you doing?" She walked in and she was cradling it, and she was really happy, to
She
be
was
with the cat and
whatting the
everything else.
cat?
Cradling,
Cradling.
Oh,
like a
thank
baby.
Christ. I thought you said something else. I'm like, oh, forget it.
No, like a baby. And I recognized the
Being
cat, and
motherly.
I went to the neighbor and I said, uh, my niece has your cat. And he said, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay." He said, "I gave her permission." She said she'd bring it back, and as long as it's back by the certain time, it's fine. And so not much
It's
happened.
the cat back.
Yeah, well, you know what? He lets the cat out in the hallway sometimes. And so that's it.
This
That's
is in
all.
an apartment building?
Yeah.
Yo, hold on. Mike, who's the transgender you want dropped?
What?
It's in the
Huh?
back.
Transgender.
It's in the back
He's
panel.
got transgender in his name, dude.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I'll take care of that. Y'all just
Something about
continue with the
Jesus.
conversation. That's back end
Oh,
stuff. in
My
more ways than
bad.
one.
Carry on. We're talking about a kitten cat over here, not transgender.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a very exciting story. It's like he gave her permission, to play with the cat for a while, and yeah, that's all that happened. But I was listening to the show while I was grocery shopping, and
Oh,
to
for God's
backtrack,
sakes! I hope no one heard it.
no, no, nobody heard it, and no, but yesterday somebody jumped on me in another chat, a live chat, and I'm like, "Who are you?" Well, I was thinking, "Who is this?" And they're like, "Yeah, you got me thrown off. You know, you got me thrown off, or you ganged up on me." I'm like thinking, "Who the fuck is this? I have no idea who you are."
Hmm.
Then I thought about it a little later, and this person, I did remember them. They were one of those people that, in a live chat that, keeps moving and moving and
They like
moving.
talk shit constantly, follow you around, but never show their face.
Well, a live chat, I'm not talking about a panel. I'm talking about like just the live chat part. This
Yeah.
person wanted me to stop and give a dissertation on theosophy, even though we were at a channel
Theosophy.
that, my namesake. And it's like, no, I don't really want to do that in a live chat.
You
And
mean
I don't feel like it.
theophany? Theosophy. Am I retarded? What the hell's a theosophy?
Theosophy, it's what Helena Blavatsky developed, her little occult
Yeah.
philosophy.
Mm.
Oh.
Sounds like
It's
a
like a
mix of
specific
philosophy and
belief system.
theology.
By the way, sweetheart,
Is
you
it?
showed up and this guy's now got devil horns on. What the fuck is cracking
Oh,
with
I'm
this
glad.
bitch?
See, I love this
Well, I have
guy.
better effect on chat.
Every time I
He
turn
always wears
around,
those, dude.
there's some new shit happening.
Devil horns.
Jeff's trademark.
That's what they are, not antlers.
Yeah, the problem is that the problem with YouTube is that the more and more you get popular, the more people are going to follow you around. So Helena, you're getting more and more
I
popular.
like
Jeff's
those
getting
devil
more and more
horns.
popular. And so we have to all wear
With success
antlers.
comes trolls.
That's it.
Well,
That's it. That's
I
all.
have.
You can
It's
bet.
even
And you can
spookier
bet.
than
You
that.
can bet somebody's probably recording this, clipping it,
Oh,
analyzing every
Oh,
word.
of course they're
yeah,
clipping
they've
it,
been
dude. Anyone
broadcast
say
about
the
it.
N word,
Ricardo,
anyone say
Ricardo.
any word.
They're obsessed.
They record everything because they have nothing.
Today, Junior, come
They
on now.
have nothing. That's why they
Mm.
have nothing
They've
but
just
other
got
than
nothing better
us
to do.
talking. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we
if I
are
did,
troll. This is the troll cave,
I
like in
don't
The
know.
Hobbit.
Yeah, no,
We are
I've
trolls. This is
because
where the
I've done
trolls
YouTube for like 7, 8 years, give or
come to fight
take,
over the
around
bones.
2017,
The funny
and
the
people
Helene.
people just
Lots of
make
trolls.
up evil shit about you that isn't true.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they will just say the most wicked, vile, rapist, pedophile. Like they will
Right,
say
we saw it. We
anything,
saw it happen.
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, I don't know how to defend it because it's
You
like
don't.
it's not true. It's stupid.
Right. That's
Like
all.
you're
That's the
like
only
fuck that
defense you
noise.
need.
But some people will entertain it because it's good for their content. It gives them numbers. There's like
I know.
excitement in the
I
air.
guess
But for
so.
the person it's going against, you're like, yo, what the fuck is this shit, dude? Like,
Lou, the funniest thing that this is the Lou. This hear me out real quick. I'll be quick.
no, take your time.
The funniest thing ever is when you go to someone's channel that is a smaller channel. I'm just and speaking in generalities, and you help them grow. You help them grow, and then you kind of get bored. You kind of get bored of the person, and then you step away. As soon as you step away, they're like a jilted lover. Oh, F that guy, man. It's out of nowhere. Like
Fuck this guy.
Lou, you were totally cool with this person for 6 months. You guys were cool, no problem, and all of a sudden, I hate that guy because you want to step away. It's the
Yeah,
craziest thing I've ever seen.
it's fucking retarded. No, because I asked abroad. I'm saying broad because she deserves that term. That's a nice way to not say bitch. No, that's a very nice way to not say another bad B
He's
word.
an old-fashioned gentleman.
She she and her buddy were putting out pedo songs on me.
All right, that's a line here. No pedo anything.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I fucking.
Well, no,
I couldn't agree more, sir.
Lou, just say PDF. Say PDF. Don't
Don't
say
even
that word.
say
Just say,
that.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
as a
yeah,
topic. I
Sure,
mean,
yeah.
it doesn't
sure,
need to be on here.
sure. Long story short, my friends, this crazy broad. They put out this bloody song about the
That thing.
rainbow. Okay,
What?
whatever you want to call it. Well, he just told me not to say it, so I
Yeah, but
can't.
so anyway, they put out a
Oh, I'm
song.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She
So the
trolling
bloody
you.
rainbow, and I'm like, hey, you guys know this is like a criminal offense, right? You know this is like slander,
Defamation? Defamation.
defamation. Like, I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, it's if you don't like me or I don't like you, you can't just put that shit on people's names. That's fucking insanity.
Mm.
Mhm.
Well,
Sounds like it's happened to you as well, Blue Dog.
I don't know if you're trying to be nice or fucking with me, but
Oh,
sure, that's what I'm talking about. I literally just told you a
Yeah.
story about it.
Yeah. Well, Lou, I had someone do it to me. Lou, I had someone do it to me,
I'm sure you
putting
broke.
pictures of my children and my family, and they are no longer on
Oh,
YouTube.
that's
They're
wild.
gone completely.
Mike, I should
Yeah.
not be spitting my coffee out when you say that. You're doing
Yeah.
something went off with your attempt to communicate this. If
They're
that's the
gone. They're
reaction you're
gone from
going after.
YouTube. This person went so out of line, made up egregious lies. Talk about all right. Talking
Listen, you're a
about
Just we
piece
can
of
move
shit.
on from
I'm a
what is
piece
the
of
larger
shit, but
yeah.
I'm
point
not
of
that.
underneath this topic. Let's get to
Anyways,
that.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move forward. I'm just saying I'm a big piece of shit for a lot of fucking dumb shit I've done in my lifetime, but not that. That's all I'm fucking saying. And I don't like that when people basically decide fuck this person, they just make up evil lies about you. That's retarded, dude. That's messed
okay.
up.
So I guess the underlining, I don't know what Jeff started saying, the theme, it's like what happens to people when they go online? What happens to their brain? Okay, that they wouldn't do it where they work.
Oh, you would never go to
They
your
wouldn't do
neighbor's
it where they
door?
work, but they do it
What's that?
online.
Yeah, the internet's a fucked off place because there's very reasonable and decent human beings I know that go online and I don't know what the fuck happens. Maybe that's who they actually are. I have no idea. But out of nowhere, oh, what's the bloody screeching, yo?
Uh-oh.
and also, you can
That's
be,
live stuff.
you can be as careful as you want about not revealing your any of your personal information, etc. But people, if people want to find you,
Yo,
and
somebody's
track
got a
you down,
mad
they
fucking
will.
screech
They
noise,
can.
yo.
A mad who?
The
So
screeching. You guys don't
doesn't
hear it.
really matter, does it?
I hear like a little chirping.
All
Just be
right,
yourself.
fine. Let the
Yeah, it sounds
chirping
like
continue. No problem.
But
okay, I
He'll
know.
come round.
it's also the
But don't
world's largest bar, I'm discovering.
It does
yeah.
sound a bit like a parrot or some bird trapped in a cage or something.
Bar and
Yeah, it was like a
garage.
toucan Sam.
Let me
He
out of
was
my
like,
cage.
Dinky, yo, 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 yo. But it was more of a screechy noise. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, personally, I don't think anybody who wanted to like most of these people they're too lazy to actually find you. And if they want to do that,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'll throw down. I'll throw down. I personally think you don't have the
No,
guts.
no,
It's just
No, but they
easier to
do
get up
though.
there.
They've
I've
been
been doxxed.
making videos
I mean,
and
I
These
know
shit.
it's
fucking jerk
happened,
offs.
but
These jerk offs sent the police to my house on a Sunday morning. I was suited up. Me and my mom were ready to go to church. And the police were here to be like, what's the disturbance in the neighborhood or whatever the fuck these idiots called for. And I'm like, hey, sir, yeah, mom's just, getting ready. We're going to go to church. Like, everything's all right? And he was like, oh, it must be the wrong door. I don't know. Obvious, but it was so obvious because they threatened to like call. It's so funny these fucking cunt fucks. We're not snitches. We don't snitch. But then you're calling police to your house. How the fuck is that not snitching?
Oh no, what is it called? Maybe one of you guys know. When people call the cops and they say
Swatting?
they're say it again.
Swatting?
Oh yeah, that's
I
it.
think you have to be a big YouTuber or something for that. No, that's not the same.
I thought it was
We're getting,
anybody. Like anytime you misuse
we're getting close to the realms of
police
people
and
who
a fake call.
make false allegations. No,
But yeah, they
that's bad
literally,
enough.
the police literally showed up at my house. I'm like, yeah, come on in, whatever, because we were just getting ready for church. And then he was like, oh,
What a
obviously
good
nothing
cover.
is going on here. And I'm like, oh no shit, dude. I'm going to church in an hour. What the fuck are you doing?
And they just fucked
Well,
off again.
By the way, I didn't use all the fuck words when I was talking to the cop.
Oh. Are you
Just,
They
that's
American
must
good
have
or
to
been
know.
offensive.
Canada?
just throwing that out there. I show a little more respect with someone who has authority to ruin my life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
I
smart,
guess
dude.
that's
good
wise.
rule of
That is
thumb.
smart.
I might have to
Yeah, yeah.
try
Well,
it.
some people call you a pussy for it. Like, oh, you didn't tell him off. No, I didn't tell him off. That son of a bitch can
You
arrest him
didn't
for
tell them
nothing.
off.
I'm like, no, I
I
just
love
I
the
They're
way
usually
that
armed.
can't
people,
control my. It
you know,
just happens. I don't.
I live in the UK, and I watch some of these American auditing videos sometimes, and
Oh my lord,
the
the
way that
American videos
people,
suck.
the way that you're allowed to talk to the police
It's
because of your
crazy. It's
First
fucking
Amendment
insane.
rights or whatever,
Oh,
it's
you couldn't do that in the
crazy because
UK?
we can't talk to them like that here.
See the
No,
difference?
you shouldn't be able to. But you
No, yes,
also
you
need
should.
to
I
have.
love America.
No, I
I
love
love that we
America. I
can.
do wish the police were better at their jobs, though, because
Oh
no,
yeah,
you shouldn't disrespect them. The reason they get disrespected is because there's been enough of them that have done such fucking horse's ass that this
of
shit
course.
comes up all the time. But if they were
Yeah,
all like respectable and truly serving and protecting,
They were
no
body
one,
cam down.
they
yeah, like
protect each
no one
other
should be
first
disrespecting good police.
before any of the public.
Yeah,
You
well,
protect each other.
There's
They've
a
got
whole
each other's
genre of
back
videos on
I can't
YouTube
first.
that's
control
based
what
on
people
body cam.
respect.
Hmm.
Well, I
So
hope
the
I
body
make the
cam
cut
stuff.
someday.
Great videos, but sometimes people go too far and they just push somebody. They poke the bear a bit too
Who the
much, and we
hey
just get
Mike? Who? Why do you keep
fucking
saying transgender? He typed it again.
handcuffs slapped on
Who
them.
the fuck is
Uh,
transgender? Disgusting.
That was to me.
Some guy
Oh,
in the chat.
you disgusting pig! You with the devil horns! You. No, who's he talking about? I don't mean to
Somebody who's
interrupt,
probably
and I
rather
really
not
Well, then
mention.
apologize, but
don't. I don't
he
mean to
keeps
interrupt,
calling out
but
some transgender.
Right? Why
Who
don't
the
you?
fuck is
What,
he?
right,
I'm
but
not,
that has
dude,
nothing to
dude.
do
But
with
I'm
the
not talking to
conversation.
you. I'm not. You don't need to be
The,
broadcasting what I'm talking to Jeff, bro. Why don't you just
yeah.
stay in your own lane, Lou? Stay in your own lane, bro. That's
I
all.
am in my own lane. I'm on a panel with you, Dougie.
You're on a
This
panel
Yeah,
is
with
but
me.
the
our
private
lane.
I'm speaking
chat's
to
not part of
Jeff.
that. The
Speaking
private
to
You
chat's
don't
Jeff.
I
not
even
part of
feel
know if
that.
that.
he's.
I feel
You
that.
don't even know
Well,
if
get
this
rid of
guy's
the
a real
bloody transgender then,
transgender.
because fuck that bitch. You're right.
It's
My
just a
bad.
name. It's just a name at this point.
Hey, my
You don't even.
apologies. You're right. You're right. The private
He
Don't
is
chat
even
is
getting
know.
supposed to
very
be
close to
private.
getting timed out, though. He likes to walk that tightrope when he's here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
me?
No, the
See, it's
the
you, not
person we're
me.
talking about.
TJS. There you go. Cat's out of the bag. TJS. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, you had a good day, Mike.
Yeah. Pretty
You had
good.
a
You
good
know,
night.
Ricardo, pretty good. You know, and the thing is that I'm really happy. I haven't seen my son in a long time. He's visited me a few times. He's in town, so
Oh yeah.
it's great.
Did
He's
y'all get
he's
together
in
yet?
Oh,
Yeah,
great
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. We
man.
already did the other
That's
day,
really
and
good.
then
Oh,
he leaves. He's going back to Canada tomorrow, so he's gonna come in again. He's
Hmm.
gonna come visit before he leaves.
oh,
Yeah, it's great to see him, man. So
Yeah.
great.
A
Yeah,
lot of people are going to Canada, you know, like my
yeah,
mum studied in Canada teaching,
yeah.
and she said it was great. I think the education system over there is quite good. I've
And
not
Ricardo,
been there yet, but
I don't know
he
about that.
lives.
After
Ricardo, he
Trudeau
actually.
showed up, it went to hell. I think.
Ricardo, he lives in Ohio. He lives actually in Ohio, but he works. He's a contractor, so he works for the Canadian government. So as a
right.
contractor,
Gotcha.
yeah.
How
So
the fuck is that
yeah,
possible?
That's cool.
it's
Who's he
very
paying
possible.
taxes to?
I'm a contractor, bro. I'm a contractor.
What the fuck does that have to do with his taxes?
Well, nothing. So just
Is he
I'll tell
paying
you this: when you
taxes to
talk
the
about
Canadians or to the
all right,
Americans?
Lou, when you talk about my kid, be careful. Just be careful. But all I'm
Imagine
trying to say
being,
is that
Be careful about what the
imagine living in
fuck.
Canada,
because
Hey,
you're
being able to
I didn't
throw
cursing.
your
threaten you. I
throw
You're
didn't
your
say
being
I'd
own
hurt
really
you. What do you mean? Be
You're
careful.
obviously
fucking
Lou. You're
neighbor.
obviously intoxicated. You're very intoxicated. So I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying
By
to
the
be
way, this is
kind on Jeff's
everyone's
panel.
fucking
I'm trying to
argument.
be kind on Jeff's
I'm
panel.
just starting to assume that everybody is that shows up here.
I'm
Dude,
not at
That's
all.
the deal.
I haven't said
everyone's
one curse
arguing
I've,
word.
with
I haven't
me.
said
Their
one curse
first
word
thing
or
is
raised my
like, you're
voice.
on crack cocaine, you're
No, not at
drunk,
all.
you're fucking retarded. Hey, what if I was a
respect each
retard?
other.
Would you still
Come on.
talk that way to
Yeah,
me?
no, but this is I built this for
Yeah,
retards.
yeah. So Lou, you're welcome. Well, Lou, you're the
We're
honorary
the
retard.
outliers.
You are the king retard, Lou. You have the
No, we
VIP
got
of
Dude,
retard.
I'm
plenty of
writing that
company around
down.
here.
King retard, motherfuckers.
You write anything down, Lou. What are you going to do with the writing? You're not going to do anything.
No, you're not
You
wrong.
you won't even dude. You won't even cam up. You're too afraid to cam up.
He doesn't have to cam.
Your punk
He's-
ass don't even have
I'm
a
not
cam
cammed
on,
up.
you faggot.
Cam up, Lou.
You
Show
cam
us
up,
how
I'm not
pussy.
afraid to
show us
come up.
how handsome you are. Show us how
Bro,
handsome you are.
Pretty
I've
much.
used my cam for like 8 years. I'm over the camming up
Jeff,
bullshit.
I'm not drunk. I don't drink at all. You can
Dude,
hear I'm not at all.
never mind
Yeah, yeah.
drunk or not
No
drunk,
one, no
right? To
one
me,
said that I
this is the
don't
first
drink.
time I've
So when I cam
Lou,
down, I have family here. So when I cam
Mike,
down, family's
stop a
walking
minute.
by. So I don't
Yeah,
want family on
you don't have to
camera.
Oh,
Mike,
yeah,
That's
we're
all.
worried about the
That's
family.
all. I
this
don't
is
want
the
my family
first
members on
time
camera.
Hey,
I've
dick
met
That's
sucker.
Dawg,
all.
If your
okay?
family's
And
there, maybe
he
turn off
seems
the
like a very
podcast.
genuine
He could do what
he
he's a
seems like
grown
a very
person. He can
genuine
do what he
guy.
wants.
Well, he's
Yeah.
worried
So
I don't
about
want
the
my family
children.
on
If you're worried
camera.
give
about
him a
the
chance,
children,
yeah?
maybe turn off the fucking goddamn
Well, he
computer
can do it the
because
way he
there's a
wants.
lot of cuss
Don't go
words
on the
going
attack,
on.
Mike. There's no need.
Yeah. You know, how do I say this nicely, Lou? I kind of like psychoanalyze
Who
people.
the hell keeps calling
You're
me
very
Lou?
angry. You're very angry. You're always you're never happy. That's
I'm the
just what I've
happiest
noticed about you.
motherfucker you ever
You're not
met, dude. I
happy.
live in peaceful bliss.
I'm happy, dude. I'm happy. I love my
Me
life. I'm
too.
happy. Can my life have improvement? Yes,
This
all
is
of
the
our
new
lives can be
happy.
improved.
Happiness for the
Can be
new
improved,
millennium.
but you always
I
seem
love my life
pissy.
too.
You
Jeff
always
is
you sound
like,
like
he's having a
you
merry
sound
old
like an
time over
angry
here.
ninja turtle. You sound like an angry ninja turtle. That's what you sound like.
Dude, that's the coolest compliment I ever heard. I'm an angry ninja turtle, dude. I like that.
That's it. That's what you are. What you are.
Angry
That's
ninja
all it is.
turtle.
Ninja Turtle. Okay, so you mentioned Corey Feldman earlier. Okay,
I
so
did not,
Corey
Helena.
brother.
Feldman.
Helena, he
Come on,
sounds just like Corey Feldman.
what's the
Helena, he sounds
comeback going to
just
be,
like
Lou?
him.
Who the fuck is
Well,
this
no,
guy you
no, I
guys
thought it
keep
was
bringing up?
funny. I just thought it was funny because it's like,
What did,
of all the movies you mentioned, Mike, you mentioned the Ninja Turtles movie, and it's like, hello, Stand By Me, The Goonies,
Yeah,
The
Stand By Me,
Lost
the Goonies.
Boys.
Thank
Goonies.
you. Ah, sweetheart knows what's up. Thank you, beautiful. Good Lord. Talking about Ninja Turtles, man.
Well, he was a voice
do you
actor in
think that
that,
was a good
which
movie?
that's fine. But yeah, those
Oh
other
wow,
movies I just
$2.
mentioned.
Thank you, TJ.
Oh,
They want
yeah.
I'm assuming you're talking about Jay, Lou Dog.
That's not my name, but I can see that it only shows that, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the avatar. You talking about Lou Dog cam up? He wants you to cam up. He sent me $2 to try to get you to cam up.
I gladly came up. I don't give a fuck, but I don't want to cam up if people
Do
are
it.
just
Do it. Do it. Do it,
Hang
pussy.
on, let
Do
him
it.
finish. You don't want to
Do it.
cam
nah.
up if what?
I understand, dude. Sometimes I'm
I've
having a bad
cammed
hair
up for
day.
8
I just
years,
don't.
bro.
If you
It's
cam up, if you cam up, I will never ask you again, ever. If you just do it one time, just
one time and you'll never
one
ask again.
time,
Five
That sounds
never,
like
five
every
seconds.
fucking hook,
never,
hooker and stupid stripping whore.
never. Just
Never,
do
I'll
it
never ask you
one
again.
5
time.
seconds. Run your fingers
Wait a
through your
minute.
hair
Wait.
and
Wait.
crack a smile.
What if he double dog dares you. If you double dog
if
dare
he
him,
double
oh
dog
no, he'll
dares
have to
me,
do
I'm
it.
dead to rights.
Lou, I double dog dare you. Lou, do you look like Mel Torme? You look like
I
Mel
was
Torme.
You're
joking. I
Come
was
double
on, do
dog
it,
joking.
do
dare.
it. Come on.
Well, I have to go pee pee first, and then we will take care
You
of
have
this
to go
double
pee
dog.
pee. What are you, 12
Well, I
years old? You have to go
appreciate you
pee
at
pee.
least
He
keeping
I'm
that off
talking to my
camera.
dog, you dickhead.
has to go pee pee, Ricardo. He has to go pee pee.
What do you talk to your dog like it's an adult?
I don't have a dog, bro. I don't have a
It
dog. Dude,
happens to most of us.
you are so drunk. It's out of control how drunk you are.
Are you
Jeff, you
you're
are.
not taking us with you, are you?
No.
Okay, good.
Lou, show your pee pee. Lou, show your pee pee.
No, Mike,
Lou, show Jeff your
Mike,
pee pee.
Mike.
No.
Cut it out
Now he
right
wants
now.
to see a wiener.
Whatever trip you
What a
on,
fag,
end
this
it.
guy.
He's goading him,
Oh,
Jeff. He's like trying to egg him on to
And
do
I'm
silly
telling him to
things.
not do that.
Quite unwise,
stop.
I would say.
I was kidding about the double dog dare. I didn't mean, I just thought everything was being childish. So I was like mocking the
Yeah, it's
situation. I
fun.
didn't mean double
No,
dog dare him.
you're
You
fine.
did
You're
just
fine,
you did
beautiful.
say
No,
that.
You're just having
these
fun.
gentlemen
We understand.
have a hard time remaining gentlemen during a podcast. That's the issue.
Yes, yeah, because
Yeah, that
we are
happens a lot around here.
yeah, Lou, we are so unprofessional, and you are so on the money. I admit that. I admit that.
Who the fuck is this one clown who's just been
No,
giving me
you've
shit
both
the
done
whole
it.
time I've been here?
You're both doing it.
He's our new
You
daddy.
are a pillar of the community, sir. A pillar of the community.
I appreciate you noticing.
No problem. I'm giving you your cookies. I'm giving you your flowers, as they say.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
giving you
I don't
your
know about the cookies, but
I love the sarcasm,
flowers are nice.
by the way.
This guy's giving me cookies. What kind of gay ass
Flowers.
shit did you just say?
Cookies
This
and
guy's
flowers.
giving me cookies. Oh,
How does
shit.
it make you feel?
You know, I don't know how to feel because
Oh, well, how
I'm
do you
pretty
feel?
sure getting cookies, that's either weed or pussy, but coming from a man, that's neither. What the fuck are
Lou,
you
sorry
talking
to
about?
disappoint
Maybe
you,
it's
mate,
just
but
cookies.
this is a
Like
gay ass channel,
cookies.
kind of,
Kind of, yeah.
isn't it, Jeff?
It's well,
It's kind of a gay
it's
ass
gay
channel.
and
Look.
it's a bar, so it's kind of.
Gay bar, gay bar, gay bar.
Yo, Jeff,
I
you're
want to take
dope,
you
man.
to a
Thanks
gay
for
bar.
letting me on, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming back.
No, Ricardo, I like your name, your handle. But
Oh,
you know what? I
thanks.
keep thinking of a dance instructor. Like that's a really dance instructor name. Like I'm Ricardo Sunshine, and I'm going to teach you the rumba.
Imagine if I changed my name by deed poll, which I can legally do here, to
Where the fuck is
Sunshine.
this guy? He can change his name whenever he pleases.
Wouldn't that be cool? People would have to call me Mr. Sunshine,
Mr.
and it'd be so
Sunshine.
fucking cool. I'd hear it all the time.
There's a great song for that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's literally.
Yeah,
It
but
seemed
aren't
like a
things?
cool name at the time.
You don't have to work too hard.
Yeah, I know how that is. But things are exciting in the UK now. What's it like there now?
Yeah,
Like the political
it's
climate.
summer.
Are you a reporter,
really hot.
sweetheart?
What?
I want to go down. I want to go down to the beach.
Actually, I used to be a
She's like,
reporter.
things are very
And get a
exciting
tan.
out there in the UK. What's going on
Well,
out
yeah.
there?
Well, you're very perceptive. I was
I
a
don't give a
reporter
fuck
for like
about
over 12
politics.
years.
No
I really
Oh,
don't.
okay, that's fine. Sorry. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the
So bad.
Conservative,
So bad.
Labour. I know enough to know. I know enough to know that Labour, new Labour, which are very different than old Labour, are now they're now in power.
What's all this talk
After
about
a
the
long
labia?
time of Conservatives being in power.
He said
Why you-
labor, not
Okay.
labia, dude. He
So
said labor.
It keeps talking about the labia,
Labour,
Labia's in
dude.
yeah,
power.
The labia's in labor,
Labour Day.
apparently.
He said labor, not labia.
Well,
Jesus
how the fuck would I know that? Because he's
Christ.
DMXing. The
Dude, Lou,
fucking
that was
labias
fucking
and
hilarious.
labor.
Dude, Lou,
It's
that
not
was
my fault.
hilarious. That was hilarious, bro.
I could say labia. I could say labia if you want.
Yeah, the labias out here in labor, man.
Oh, it's just good.
What are we gonna do with the labias? I don't know. We're probably gonna fucking be real good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ricardo,
Well,
Lou
anyway,
said that.
you know what?
Ricardo, Lou said that you ride a Sibian. Is that true? You ride a Sibian?
Ride a what?
This is getting
Ride a bike.
absolutely retarded, guys.
Oh,
Whoever's
God.
listening is
A push
probably
bike. It's
dying.
like a
What the fuck?
ride a mountain bike.
No, you know what? I'm
Jesus
sorry.
No
Christ.
I'm
electric.
sorry. I'm sorry, Ricardo. I didn't try. I wasn't trying to make you. I didn't. You don't like to talk about politics. I don't either.
Yeah,
In this
lady,
Oh,
we don't want to
medium.
hear
God.
about your
Not really.
labia.
So I'm
Hey,
sorry.
It's all corrupt. It's all
Go ahead,
fucked.
Elena.
It's all.
Stop.
No.
Yeah.
Whoever's not
Lou,
Elena,
stop talking about
talking.
labias, dude. Stop it. Stop it. Lou, stop.
Well, I'm not even talking, but if she's gonna keep talking
You're
about
talking right
labia,
now,
dude,
Elena. Go.
No, I'm
either
just thinking.
fucking
No, you
show it
just got me
off or shut up
thinking about
about it. I
labias.
No,
don't want to
no.
hear it.
And
I
it's
was
quite
sorry
nice, but
about asking political questions. I didn't.
And
I
once
was
I
just
realized
curious, but I
you're a
didn't. You know,
reporter,
if you don't like to talk about that, you don't. So it's, and I don't
What would
either.
the question be if he did like to talk about it?
No, I
Yeah,
don't
what
know.
if that was
They
the
just had
question? Do you have an innie or an outie?
Stop it,
Who are you
dude. Come
talking
on,
to?
Hey,
man.
stop.
I'm talking
Seriously,
about a belly button, man. Come on.
don't get yourself put on the list.
Jeff, this is
No,
classic.
this-
This is classic, bro. This is amazing. Holy crap.
You know this is good content, all right? Just fucking ride with it,
This
bro.
is
Relative to
unbelievable. Jeff,
because
this
I
is
see better.
unbelievable. It's
You've done
unbelievable,
better.
bro. This is great.
You should
But no,
change the name to the Labia fucking podcast,
I
man.
know. But listen, Lou.
Yeah, see, he left.
Helena is royalty here, so you have to take it easy on that. You have to. She's
To
royalty
the
here.
extent that we have royalty.
Yeah.
Well, my
Oh, wow.
mistake for asking about her labia. She's just
I
talked
know,
about
I
it
know.
5 times.
I know, but it's none of your
Yeah,
business.
Yeah,
That's
we
her
can move on
personal.
from the
That's her
labia.
personal labia. You know, it's like personal Jesus. Remember that song, Personal Jesus? Personal Jesus.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
I
Great
didn't even
song.
hear
What a
him
great.
say that. Yeah, it's like, what do you want? You want like dimensions,
Oh, you have
No,
dimensions.
we don't want to do
descriptions?
that.
It's like,
We don't want
don't
to
be
do that.
silly. I don't want any
I
of
mean,
that.
I
Here,
don't want to
Jeff.
see the dimensions of the
Let's
labia.
just move on.
Jeff, the best song ever.
Start that.
Was it? Enjoy the silence. Depeche Mode.
Enjoy the silence.
Oh my God. You remember the band Enigma, where they did
Oh
like
yeah, they
the
do the
Roman
Gregorian
chants?
chants.
Yeah.
They'd mix it in
Yeah.
there.
Oh my God. We would listen to that all the time.
You
All the
switch
time.
from labia to the N word. Amazing.
No, we're talking.
Amazing.
We're talking about Enigma. It's the E
Enigma.
word.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. That song. What was
We
it
were
called?
hearing
Something like something Part 2. I can't remember what the name of the song
Can you
was.
even
Yeah.
say Enigma anymore?
Enigma.
No, we
Yeah.
can't say it anymore because everyone's bitching about it.
Well, they
All
can
right,
bitch.
Lou, do this. Just say cowabunga, dude. Say cowabunga, dude. Say it.
Yeah, right.
Come on, man. Just say cowabunga, dude.
Labia,
Lou,
dude.
do you practice with numchucks like in the dark in your room? You practice with numchucks?
Yeah, I work on
Cowabunga, dude.
my Chinese style of the ninja arts.
What's your favorite pizza? What's your favorite pizza, Lou?
Hmm.
Is that what we're?
I like to hide in the darkness sometimes.
We're changing it to pizza. Okay, yeah, the pizza pie over here.
Lou, it's called the pivot. It's called the pivot. You have to pivot out. Yeah, I mean,
Pirouette.
it's funny because like growing up in New York, New York has the best pizza. But like we would go to
Yeah, no, I fucking agree, dude. All
Yeah,
these
but we would
assholes
go-
are saying they have better pizza. My
I
ass,
brought
they
it to
do.
Chicago.
but when I
Chicago,
went
you
to
ain't got shit but fucking gangbangers and drug dealers, man.
Gangbangers or gang
Top
Have
bangers?
you
pizza
seen all the
among
damn
gangbangers
fucking?
on
He
drug
said
dealers.
he said gang bangers. Oh
Yeah, you
no.
guys got a whole lot of fucking hood inwards
Yeah,
fucking
gang to
killing each
bang.
other.
Yeah. So the whole so Lou, have you ever been to New York? Ever been there before?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, the pizza is better.
Good.
No,
Did you ever yell
no.
cowabunga and live in a sewer like a
Did I
ninja
ever
turtle?
yell cowabunga in a sewer? What the fuck are
Yeah.
you smoking? Are we on drugs? What is going on? No, I never
You have
said
to fold
cowabunga in
New
a
York,
sewer.
New York pizza. You have to fold it. It's like that's so
Mike, you're
freaking
fucking
lame.
me up, man. You're
Lou, the
making me
bottom
laugh
line,
so much.
the bottom line is this,
New
Lou.
York,
Sorry.
Lou, you are a ninja turtle. That's the bottom line. You're a ninja turtle. You're never not going to be a ninja turtle. So just embrace it. Embrace the ninja turtle lifestyle. Just embrace it.
You know, that's not an insult to me. I think that's very kind of you. I appreciate it. But this
Well, if he
guy's over
was,
here talking about, you know, the 50% of the population who's not 50% committing 50% of the murders. Come on now.
All right, so Lou, let me ask you this, and this is a
Why do
good
you keep
question.
calling
Do
me
you, do you
Lou?
think do you think certain people of certain races are prone to crimes? Do you think people there's
no, we're
something
not having
to?
this conversation here. Take that over to chaotics.
All right,
mm,
gotcha.
good idea.
The answer was yes, but carry on.
It's certainly
Yeah.
not black people. Is that,
All my friends are black, to be
I
honest with
love
we're
you,
all
black
but
the,
people. I
okay.
couldn't imagine
we're all the
So
same
Lou,
a
what
inside.
do
world
you
without black people.
Lou, what is your take on Sicilians? What is your take on? Because me and Helene are Sicilian. What is
They're
your
not
take on
even
us?
white, dude. They're blacks themselves. In their own culture, they're black as well.
I
They're kind of
This
like
panel
the
just
hated
got real
class of the
diverse real quick.
Italians.
I appreciate that. So Lou, you're my soul brother. You're my soul brother, Lou. You're my
Soul
soul
Alright,
brother,
brother.
fuck
soul
yeah.
brother.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no,
Lou, what are
Sicilians get
you?
no
What's your
love. They
background?
get no love from the brothers out here that are trying to performatively act black or something. But
Hmm.
you don't even get classified as white. So, you know,
Yeah, it's
what do you
interesting.
do?
It really is.
Now, what I remember is when I was a girl, they considered me
When she was a
ethnic.
girl.
When I was a girl, they considered me ethnic, and now I'm just
White.
white. So
Hmm. They did that
Yeah.
with
So
us too.
big umbrella.
Yeah, they changed all the words. They changed all the
Everybody's white.
definitions.
so
Eh,
check this
just a
out.
Yeah.
dumb
So
white bitch
Man.
now.
Even
when I
Asian people are white now.
when
You
I
white
went to
European.
college, I was considered
Either.
other. So yeah, now it's changed into you're just white now. So it's
Hmm.
weird.
Do you
It's
check other?
weird.
Like, do you still have the option to check other,
You can put
or do
I
you
am
go
a
with
ching
white?
ching chongy. I am brown on. When it comes to college, you put whatever the fuck race you're originally from,
Yeah.
because you actually get into college for that. And if
So
it's for a
let me ask you
job,
this:
you
is
put
there
white immediately. You're like, I'm
is
fucking white. Hire me.
is there a separate classification for if you are Lou Dog? Is like a sixth race? Like like gray alien?
A
Like are you
sixth
like gray
race?
alien or something?
What's the second, third, fourth, and fifth race, dude? What are you talking about? Sixth race?
Yeah. So Lou Dog, have you ever called someone a jive turkey? You ever said you
No,
jive turkey?
because I don't even know what the fuck a jive ass
You don't
turkey
know what
is.
jive
Mike,
turkey is?
Mike,
Oh,
Mike, you're not fluid in
jive
jive.
turkey.
Okay, so you hang loose blood. Now I can go catch you something on the rebound, but if you're not fluid
Oh,
in
she's gonna get
jive,
you something on the
Ah,
rebound. Jeff, watch out, man. That pussy's flying your way. Who's on the
Whoa,
rebound?
it's
whoa,
gonna re.
Lou,
That's what
come
it's
on,
gonna
man.
rebound from.
Chill,
Is
chill.
is
That's
it
where
not what that meant?
she's
I
just
thought she
launching
meant.
from there.
Lou, I guarantee you, if Helena put it on you, you'd be crying in your bed. You're like, why did she leave me? What did I do wrong?
I'd cry. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh
I mean,
yeah.
I'd probably cry because I felt bad because Jesus is upset.
No,
But
no,
I
dude,
wouldn't feel bad.
she
I
would
would
own you, dude,
cry
dude. You
because I
shoot,
enjoyed myself.
dude, Lou, you'd be in a jock strap and chaps in like 10 minutes. Just stop, Lou.
And
Oh,
chaps. This guy's
oh yeah.
always got to add something more. Is that for the comedic
Jeff,
effect?
Jeff, what's happening? What's happening, Jeff?
What's happening?
I don't
Helena,
know,
would you,
dude. This is
Helena, would you
talking about
make,
Josh
Helena,
Graff and all
would
kinds
you
of
make
other
Lou
stuff.
call you mommy? Would you make him call you mommy, Helena? She would, dude.
I
She
don't
would
know.
own you, dude. She would own you. She would own you. You're a submissive male. You're a submissive male,
He
and
doesn't
Helena is
seem
an
very
alpha
submissive
woman.
to me, and I have
He's
an eye for
submissive.
that sort of thing.
It's all an act. It's all an act. It's all an act, Jeff.
Or
Trust
is
me.
that
It's all
you?
an act. And that's not me. No, I'm super alpha, dude.
Yes,
Super alpha.
Jeff, you're
Yeah.
catching the guy in his act over here. Oh, this guy's acting. Hey, motherfucker, I'm me. If you're over here acting about you wouldn't get a dildo in your ass, it's not my fault. You're a faggot. Just enjoy yourself. I don't give a fuck if
Okay,
you
that's
date your
fine.
own
That's
pussy
fine.
all the time.
Jeff, let me take it. Jeff, let
Do
me take
you
it. So
think?
Lou,
No, do you think,
no, that's
bro?
cool. It's
If
cool.
that's what you're assuming.
No, Lou, it's cool, dude. Look. We talk about open things here. We always express
Oh, is
ourselves.
that we do? We talk
We
about
joke. No,
open
hear me out.
bullshit. Okay.
Hear me out. We talked the other night.
Oh,
We
for
talked
God's
about
sake. Here we go.
butt plugs and stuff. But Lou, would you put a butt plug in your ass? Would you do that?
Open thing.
I mean, if it felt natural, I think we can make it work, but
Okay,
there's
it's
still
not
pussy
we.
involved.
Lou, it's not we. I'm not going to be there, Lou. I'm not going to. It's you. It's not we. It's
Jeff,
you.
what the fuck are you laughing about, dude?
Yeah. I'm not gonna, Lou. I'm not going to be there. No matter how much money you cash at me, I'm not going to be in the room with you because the room will smell like sweat,
Not you, you
sweat,
jackass. I'm
Oh,
talking
and
to
corn
fuck.
chips.
Helena.
And wet ass.
I don't know why you keep bringing your
Okay,
dumb
so
ass into my
all right, no, that's all right.
conversation,
Lou,
sweetheart.
Jeff, let me get him. So Jeff, so the
Get
whole
him,
thing is
get
that
him. Oh, let him
if a
get him,
woman
he
puts a
said.
Oh, okay,
Here we
Jeff,
Mike, get
fucking
him.
go.
here's the rope. Here's the rope, Jeff. So
Oh,
Lou,
here's the rope.
if a woman puts the plug in your butt, you're not gay. Is that what you're saying? If a woman does it,
That's gay as
then you're
hell, yeah.
not gay.
No, of course it is, because she's running the relationship, which is faggotry.
Okay, so she owns you. So she's
Oh,
banging
even
you.
if a
She's
woman does it?
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's still
I,
faggotry.
that
Are you
what
guys
do I
all
get my
gay
own
though? Of course
category at
I'm
all? I have
gay.
to share it with women everywhere.
No, we can't be having women fucking men in the butts. That's
Well, what am
ridiculous.
if a woman could be a faggot? What am I? What do I have that distinguishes me from that?
Well, dude, if you got fucked in the butt, you're gay, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Just,
Lou, do you think that you'd be the grand champion of gay Jeopardy? Of gay Jeopardy?
I'd
Think you'd be
love
like the grand
to play
champion?
the Jeopardy game of the gays,
Yeah.
just to let everyone know
You
what a
know what my
faggot they
challenge is?
are.
Okay, Lou, this is what I'm sensing. This is only my opinion. It's what I'm sensing. Whatever your kink is, look, that's up to you. I'm not
Look,
into
I don't
that.
have
But
kinks like that.
it sounds like to me
How did we get
that
to
you
this
like butt
retarded
play. That you
topic,
like
guys?
butt
We
play.
can keep talking
You
about
like
gay
butt
shit.
play.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Look,
and it
if you
sounds
like
like that you want
trannies,
a
fine,
woman to
dude. There's
insert
some really
something
hot
in your
trannies.
bottom.
I met a
Sounds
very
like you
hot
want a woman
tranny.
to
She's
insert something in your
beautiful,
bottom,
but
and
she
that's
has a
cool.
penis.
Dude, it's totally
Now I
cool.
see why they
So,
have the word
listen,
faggot.
Lou, admit this one time. You want a
All
woman
right.
to insert something in your bottom. Just admit it. Just admit, I want a woman to insert something in my bottom. And that's cool, dude. No one's judging you. No
Am
one's
I? Do I
judging you.
get to have sex
I'm
first?
judging. I'm
Do we
judging
get to
right
have
now.
sex
I'm
first?
judging that I have another panel to do in less than an hour. So I'm gonna
This
wrap this
guy's
one up.
over here fucking trying to end this bullshit.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
you
Listen
have
is
to him.
another
bullshit,
panel,
and I do
Jeff?
want it ended. I'm gonna wrap this one up so I can get a little break in,
Okay.
and then I'll be out in less than an hour.
Well,
The link's
Helena,
already
don't
set
hang
up.
Okay.
up
It's for the
yet. I want to
astrology
say hi to
panel.
you
I'll see you
Wrap
guys
up.
later.
All
I'll
right,
sign
she's
off.
gone.
Bye.
Take care, Helena.
Elena, always a pleasure.
Take
Mike,
care,
what the
Mike.
fuck was that horse's ass you just pulled at the end of the stream?
Lou, I honestly think that you really are into butt play. I think you're into butt, and
No,
I'm
I
just,
don't.
I think you're
I'm
into
not.
butt play, and I think you've exhibited that you're into
Okay,
butt
we're
play.
gonna have to take up the butt play conversation at another time because I want to wrap this one up. So just say your goodbyes,
All
and I'll
right.
see
Well,
y'all
hey,
in
have a
less than
good
an hour.
night. We'll do some butt play later. Okay.
I'd rather not,
Bye.
Lou. I'd rather not, Lou. I'd rather not.
Not you.
Y'all
Not
Yeah.
decide.
from
Y'all
you.
can
Bye.
decide
Hey,
that on
bye,
your own.
brother. Thank you for letting us on, Jeff.
Take care, Lou. All
These
right, Mike.
fucking people.
Holy shit, Jeff. Holy shit.
I see a theme emerging.
I knew this guy wanted to fuck me in the butt. Weirdo.
Oh, no, I don't, Lou. I don't want to.
No.
Please, I don't want to. I don't.
We'll stop
I
talking
don't.
about it then, you weirdo.
All right, but you're fixated
Jeff,
on it.
just dude, in
All
the
right. Good night,
goddamn.
everybody. I'll be out of the streets in less than an hour. Analyzing Elon Musk's astrology chart. What was happening with the stars the night Elon was born, or the day. I'm not even sure when he was born. See you soon. Take care. And we'll do another panel after that. So we'll be out again this evening. Just take a little break. This many hours in front of a panel is not healthy for anybody. My God. Get a break, everybody. Go.